And here we go.
Hi, Hi guys. Welcome to another stream. This is IFT11. Um, we're gonna be watching from NASA spaceflight.
Exactly.
Hold on. Let me just yeah. This is like it's like my reaction to IFT11. You're gonna like it's gonna be crazy.
Is a weather balloon. It's predicting what it when could be, but to be make
Okay,
sure
we're
it's
live.
correct, SpaceX is going to launch actually more than one weather balloon. They normally launch two, sometimes up to three weather balloons a little bit before launch, about 2 hours before launch, and they collect the data to verify that
There's
what they're going
something
to
I'm
send
worried
the
about right now,
rocket into
which is the fact
is
that
favorable weather
SpaceX is on
conditions.
hold right
And
now.
that's what this little plot is this
I'm
is
trying
actually
to
one of the SpaceX
spot
weather
here
balloons.
any
Circled in
abnormal.
yellow, I have the winds
Oh,
aloft.
there's
So
the
from the
poop
bottom
vent.
of the graphic to the top of the graphic, that's
It's
from the
not really
ground
signifying a
going up
lot.
really
I don't
high,
really think it really
surpassing
like meant
pretty much where
anything.
the air is in the
But
atmosphere. The
I'm really
rocket's going to go
looking for
further than that,
the
but the region that we have to worry about
tower
winds and
and
wind shear.
OLM
I'm
vents to
not seeing
stop,
anything.
which could probably
Up a little bit
signify
aloft. There
the
is a
good
little bit where the
oxygen
winds go
starting to
from like
like
5 knots, and
flow
all of a sudden it
inside
goes up to like
vehicles.
20, 25, 30 pretty
Probably the
quick.
tower vent
That's
will
still within
stop
limits. I'm
first
not seeing anything tracking
because
anything
the
like
ship would normally be
wind-wise
fueled first.
conditions like
Just don't
that
worry.
would be anything. Now, another thing is we also have to think about, yes, it's getting launched from here. If they also have to have the ship splash down in the
Okay.
Indian Ocean. I checked that area.
Oh yeah, we
That
have
area seems
a
like
new T zero
it's
now.
favorable to do a landing. There is a
Yeah.
little bit of wind shear actually out there, but it still seems within limits. And we also have to think about
I
splashdown
think.
because splashdown's off the coast. There is,
Okay, I
if
didn't
we
really
can pull up
see
the
either
satellite,
of them
there is
shutting
actually
off
some
yet.
clouds, low clouds that I've been talking about that are trying to filter in. That's really not going to have a major impact on anything. Just viewing conditions, there might be a few of those small, little puffy white cumulus clouds around. But the good news is there is some rain showers that are further east out in the Gulf where you can see those thicker clouds just due east. But those rain showers will be getting closer to where the splashdown of the booster will be. But so far, I've been looking at a lot of lightning data, making sure there's not a lot of electrical activity in those, and there is not at this current time. So
Oh yeah,
it's something
guys.
they're probably
By the way, I
monitoring and
just
watching
woke
just to
up
verify
because I
that
live
we don't
in a
start getting
country
electrical
where
charged clouds.
it's already
Luckily
2
today,
a.m.
though, we do have a cap
Yeah.
inversion. So there's warm air aloft that's actually helping suppress a little bit of the upward development of these
I'm
showers. So
actually
these showers
watching the
aren't
stream
able
in
to
like
get up
two
there
different
really high like
devices.
last launch,
One is
like
for the stream
Flight
and
10, where we got the big
one is
angles
for
that were
like
spreading
my
over, and that could be
TV,
electrical and
just to make
causing
sure that I
the
don't really
scare
miss all
delays
this
of
stuff.
possibly not being able
Yeah.
to launch. So we're not going to have that because we do have a.
Actually, I can just like lower the volume here to 0, but it's not gonna really be up to date. But what I want to talk about is I don't know what to talk about right now. Hmm. I think I should talk about the heat shield tests that would probably be on Starship. Oh, wait, he had it.
Time has moved a little bit, but we're now counting down, as you can see up there on the
Okay,
clock.
yeah, okay, that's
It's
like the new T
weirdly, it's
zero.
it's like 23 minutes past the hour, so it will be 6:23
But I think the new
Central, but
Starship
it's like
test
with 21
tiles here
seconds,
are
so it's
kind.
not
I
like
heard
right at
like
the top
that.
of the minute, which is quite
So I kind of
interesting.
sick.
But indeed, we are now
I heard
well
that
on the
they're
way
all just
there.
mostly
So in a couple of minutes, we should start to see
missing heat
that
shield tile
stardust
tests,
assembly.
and
You
there's
can see
probably
now
no
what I
new
said before,
material,
that the tower vent there has
which
died off.
means
It's now
that
very
the
just
tower vent has
focused on
gone. Oh
just
no, the tower vent is
a
very
little bit. It'll
small.
come back, and once it comes back, that's again
Okay,
that's
yeah, but
sort
like
of like the end
the tower
portion
vent
of
is
that cylinder,
dissipating.
and then it'll
Either
go
it
away,
means
and that's
that
our clue that they are going into
ship load
liquid oxygen mode
LOX
on
load
the ship.
started,
For the
or
liquid methane, which is the first thing
um,
that's gonna come up in the
there's
timeline,
probably like
that should be with those
less
subcoolers, as I
atmosphere
just mentioned before,
condensing.
on the tank farm. They're gonna become really active. So we'll stay tuned for that. We'll keep an eye on that. I'm having all of the feeds
Okay,
here
yeah, but
on
like
your screen.
there's su- there's there's probably not gonna be any like metal heat shield tiles, like metal regeneratively cooled heat shield tiles being used in this flight, as you saw in last flight, where
Yeah,
the
and
But we
entire
need
belly
King
side
to
of the
be hyped.
ship turned orange.
We can't play the video unless
Yeah.
everybody
Yeah, wait, hold on.
enough to play the
Uh,
video. You know, that's how the hype video works. Yeah, chat,
Yeah, let
we
me
need
just,
to be
like-
hyped. We need to be excited because in 55 minutes time,
Wait,
we're about to see
uh,
launch.
okay, never mind. I don't really have any photos of
This kind
ship 30.
configuration of this version of Starship
Okay,
from Starbase
so
is
shut up.
bittersweet, but we can still be hyped for it nonetheless. We're going to see Booster 15, Ship 38 going and doing its thing, flying off into
Okay, I'm just gonna search up Ship 37 Starship.
Teased it long enough, Kevin. I think we can
Yeah, as you can see, there has been a lot of oxidation.
Let's go!
What? What? Oh. I want to see this. This is a high video.
Whoa! Ship 36 just blew up.
Oh my god.
Here's ignition.
We have liftoff.
We have 33 healthy Raptor engines.
Booster engine cut off.
And hot staging, look at that. Wow.
Side-
Fly, baby, fly.
Let's go!
The booster is no go for a catch.
A 10. Either side consider they're like recapping like or they're like trying to like predict what will happen. Oh yeah, okay, yeah, that's like a hype video. Oh wait, there's already a mission patch for this?
All right, we are back monitoring activities at Starbase in Texas, awaiting our launch of Starship test flight number 11. And this is Lon Seidman here on behalf of NSF. I'm joined by Alex Romero and Ryan Caton today, and we've got lots of things to share with you. But before we do, we have some super chats to bring to your attention. Unsymmetrical dimethylhydrazine here. Don't want to breathe that stuff in, but we do appreciate
You
your
nailed it,
super
Lon. You
chat.
nailed it.
I nailed it. I got it. How about that? So just wanted to wish you all good luck. We're all counting on your coverage. Jokes aside, thank you as always for your streams and insightful commentary. Let's see some 11s in chat along with that hype to send off Booster 15 and Ship 38 on a successful 11th flight test. And Bidford is coming in with a $10 super chat to get that hype going. Lots of chat hype here with UK Hudson also joining in on the
Okay
fun
guys,
there.
so
Stuff
hopefully
that
we see
right
that
now,
tower
for
vent
the
go
super
away.
chats.
I don't know if
Here,
it's
please,
true or not. Let me
from,
just
Patrick.
yeah, but I
So thank
think
you
it's
all for
the tower vent will
super
dissipate in
chats.
48 minutes.
See if I can get
50
this one.
minutes-ish.
Dahanje
Maybe we're just,
Anan,
like, a few
DJ.
minutes, maybe
So
the
thank
tower
you
vent
very
will
much
just, like,
for
shut off
your support. So
right
we
now.
are
I don't know.
counting down here.
But I heard it's like, I don't know.
Minutes or so left on the count.
Because
We
I
had a
remember
hold,
last
that
fight,
hold is
it was
lifted,
like probably
and it
like
looks like we
50,
have
40
health
seconds,
loading going in.
45,
And I think our next
think.
order of business,
Let me just
gentlemen,
check
is to
my
talk
next space flight
about
app.
the tank farm and what's going on there.
Go.
So I don't know. We'll start with
The
Alex
methane
and
tank
turn it
on
over to
the
Ryan.
ship is already underway,
Yeah, you can
underway
see
loading.
there on the top left view on your screen, you can see those subcoolers, exactly what I said there. Those
So
sort
only
of
the methane
sideways
tank is
vents
being
that they
loaded as
have,
of now,
and
and
they become
and
really, really
that's
active.
being
That
shown
is
in the next
confirmation
spaceflight
that
app.
they're indeed now loading from that
That
liquid
tower vent
methane
hasn't
into
gone
the
yet,
ship.
so which means
Liquid
that like
oxygen load
the
should
LOX load is
start
not
in about 5
started
minutes
yet.
from now. We'll keep in track of that tower vent, which, if you remember, I said, oh, it's gonna die off, it's gonna come back, and when it when it comes back, it's gonna be a lot more active. It is indeed. It's now
Yeah, guys, I'm
quite a vent,
back in a quick
if
chippy.
you will. I was trying to do a pun, but it didn't work. And so, about 5 minutes after liquid oxygen load on the ship, we'll get to the booster side of things. So it sort of starts first with the ship, and then starts and then goes to the booster. And so and then for each one, they start first on the fuel, on the liquid methane, and then they do the liquid oxygen. Remember, in space, there's no oxygen. I mean, there is, but it's not something that you can really get into your engines, right? Like you really need to bring your own oxygen. So most of the rocket, it's in fact like 80% of the mass of Starship.
Hi
is
guys,
in
I'm back.
production when it is fully loaded with propellants. So it's a very essential thing that they need to load onto Starship. So yeah, I mean, going well, man. It's this. I'm really right now. My heart is racing. Words.
It just never gets old. It's amazing.
Okay, so
this
that
is going to be the 11th one of
tower
these that we've
vent is
covered,
still
and
not
it
gone
just,
yet.
Keeps getting that heart rate going. Ryan, how are you feeling right now? And what do you think things are looking like down there?
Let me just.
I'll be honest with you, I had a high heart rate alert on my watch halfway
Yeah,
through
it's
that.
in 40
panel segment.
and T
And
minus
nowhere near the
46
road, so I
minutes.
don't even want to look at
Okay,
my
so
screen.
we
I
are
have to be honest with
3
you,
minutes
but I'm
away
sure
from
it's
tower
like
loading.
15 minutes to
LOX
load.
load
I
on
mean,
ship.
It's always wonderful to see all of the vents going at the tank farm. I mean, this is a mechanical system that literally
I wanna,
comes
like,
alive, the
talk about,
materials
like,
are
the fact
contracting and
that
expanding as the fluids
The
flow
fuel,
through them.
like that
It's really
frost
crazy
line
how
that
it
forms on the
begins
ship
to
and
come to
booster
life.
doesn't
And
like.
as I said, this
it's
is the
like-
last time
There's the big
it's crossed
misconception
that
that could
this
even be
is
seen
going
in
to happen
space
under or with this specific
because it's not
infrastructure
really the
reservoir
actual
area, right?
fuel
So,
Starship. Because if it were
like,
to
we
actually be,
at the
that'll
end
be
of
quite
a very
catastrophic
exciting 11th
because there's probably a
of-
very
of an
like
era,
big
if
leak
that
or
makes
something
sense.
on the
Yeah,
ship
ever
and
since
booster.
Strike One, this
But
good old
it's
Russian
actually
launch
the
pad literally will
atmosphere,
destroy the concrete
the water
straight to
vapor
bits.
surrounding,
And it
like
came
the
back
atmosphere
from Flight
surrounding
2,
the ship and booster,
performed flawlessly, shall we say.
making
ever since.
contact of the body of
amazing
the
how
booster and
resilient it
ship
is. You can
and
hear
freezing
that
as
venting going on there and
the
everything coming
temperature of
alive. And one of the
them
things I
is
always
really
like to talk
cold,
about when we talk about
which is
spaceflight is that
which means
this is
that
not just
if they were
rocket
to be in
science. This is
space,
civil
then
engineering. It's plumbing. It's all the
if-
things that
if
are
they were
going
to be in
just
space,
about
there would not
any
be any
kind of
visible frost
engineering,
lines.
task that you might have
Is that
is something that goes
methane?
into
No, that's not
this
really methane.
mission, and all of those pieces have to come together
Frost.
to get Starship off the
Because
ground.
there's no air
And we are
like
seeing
there's
some
no
questions in the
condensing
chat
around
about
it.
what we can expect visually during this launch. So one thing we can guarantee is that there will be explosions today. What we are hoping is that the explosions are not rapid, unplanned disassemblies or RUDs,
So
but rather RAD, which are rapid assumed disassemblies, where these rockets will.
I made like a
I'm trying to
I
bring in
made
the
like
That was good, that was
a.
80s vernacular. Or
I mean, I
perhaps
just wanted to
authorized-
talk about
authorized
Block 3
disassemblies.
Starship.
So the first one that we're going
Because
to
it-
see is after the booster.
Although
separates,
it
it's
looks
going
like
to come
Starship
back
hasn't really
down,
been
and of
changed
course
for
we've been
Block
seeing
3.
some of these,
There's actually a lot of
boosters get
changes.
caught by the
One of which
Mechazilla there, but
is
that's
the
not gonna
extension
happen
of the
today. So
propellant
that booster is going to be
section
sent
of
into
Starship,
the ocean for
which will be, I think, one ring
destruction, but
longer.
not before they test some new landing
And
maneuvers.
would like
and
mean
Ryan,
that
maybe
the
you could fill
engines
us in a little bit. They're going to be doing
would
something
be
different as that
directly
booster's coming back down.
the engine component, like the
Yeah,
engine
so we
hardware,
saw
would be
on the last
directly
Flight 10, they were doing engine experiments
inside
there as well. So I'll
the
just quickly
lower
run through the kind of
common
different
dome of
landing
the ship.
configuration we've seen. Ever since Flight 5 with the boosters,
Which
when
means
it was
that they
under
are gonna
pressure,
probably
they
have to make
lit
inlets
all
for them.
13 of the inner Raptor engines,
Yeah,
or
there's
at
also
least
not
most
going
of
to
the
be any
working
shielding
engines,
because
as
of
it comes
that
back
dome
down for its
protecting
landing
the
gun.
components
And
of
then
the
it's
ship, I
down
think.
selected to the three super middle engines, right, as it then kind of slides over into the chopstick arms. On the previous flight, they were testing
So,
a new configuration to prepare if they ever had an engine out. That's a Raptor not working on that middle ring.
Another one is the
Three
catch pins. The
engines.
catch
So
pins
they used
are
two of
kind
those
of
middle three
more
engines and then one Raptor
bulkier.
engine selected on the
I don't
13
really like
engine
that
ring, so
cloud
middle
at a
ring, if that makes sense.
distance.
This time, however,
Oh, no.
they're testing
But
even
hopefully
newer
just a
configurations.
pass
They're gonna start
above
with those
Starship.
13, all
Oh,
13 of those
that
dual
old
Raptor engines.
vent,
And then they're going to down
it's-
select to
yeah, it's
5
it's
Raptor engines.
out,
So
I
3
think.
center Raptors,
It's not really
3
venting
engines
any
on that middle ring of
high
13.
pressure
Not
liquid
exactly
oxygen,
sure
it's more
which
like
two they
dripping.
are, but it's going to be, you know, one
High
of those
pressure,
two
like it's
engines,
just
which is
dripping
symmetrically placed
liquid
apart, we
oxygen.
assume.
It's
I
not
think that's pretty
releasing
safe to
any
assume.
high
And then from
pressure
that point, it'll then down select
liquid
over to the
oxygen. So
3
I guess it's
middle
that the
engines. And
liquid
that way,
oxygen load in the
landing
ship
gun can
is
be
started.
slightly
And let me just
shorter.
check my next
Even though
spaceflight
they're
app.
technically using more engines, it's actually more efficient because they're going to be using those
Okay. Hopefully that's the case here.
additional
Not,
thrust outweighs the additional.
Yeah, we
propellant
are
use, if
probably
that makes sense.
already.
It makes sense.
Although
And,
this is saying
and this
next
booster
spaceflight out,
was one of
we
the
are probably
boosters that
already
or
in-
was caught
we are,
successfully
like,
before. We
the
did have a big
LOX
debate
load on
about
ship
whether
is
it's being
underway.
landing or if it's being caught. So you can choose
It's both.
your.
It's both.
It's both, right? So, but this one did get caught and landed before. and it's been refurbished and is going back up again. So this is the second flight of this booster. It will be the last flight of this booster. And of course, it will explode spectacularly when it hits the ocean, and hopefully not before
Okay,
all of the
so,
mission objectives are accomplished. And then from there,
hopefully
the
there's no
Starship
scrub today.
continues its journey. We're
Ship
gonna
is
see
under
those
load.
dummy
think it doesn't really
Starlink
look like it.
simulators get deployed from
If
cargo bay
I don't
to
really
the
see
large
any
cargo
frost
bay.
lines on this ship,
And then the
SpaceX is
Starship
probably
will return. And I
gonna
expect, Ryan, that we're going to
move
see,
the
just as we
launch
saw before,
the T
stuff
minus
melting off
to
of
like
the rocket here.
like
Hopefully
by
things not
maybe
exploding like we
hopefully
saw
a
last
few
time.
minutes
But they will be doing more
back.
tests of the heat
They
shield,
have a
really
75
pushing
minute
that
long
thermal protection
window.
system.
And my time is
Yeah,
from
exactly. And first on this
3:15
booster,
to
I was fortunate
4.
enough to be in
just check.
Starbase for
For me,
Starship's
it's
8th flight
from
test, and this is the booster that flew on that
3:15
flight.
to
It was
4:30.
So, you know, a little bit of sweet for me.
So
because
hopefully
I
that's
sort of
enough
get
time for
caught with my
SpaceX to
very
launch
own eyes,
Starship.
so it's
Oh, look at that,
very
like
well
weird
like it's your average Monday, not too
heat
happy
shield
about that. So anyways,
tile
on the ship
dispersion.
side of things, yeah, we have
on the flaps.
seen
I think they're for
moving
like
patches of
onboard
tiles
heat-
from various
Oh.
locations around the vehicle. They're not doing materials testing, like they're doing some materials or individual.
But like I
tiles.
think they're used for like
Whereas this
sensors
time around, they're
on
all the normal material,
tiles.
but they're actually just ripping off
they're, like,
tiles
meant
in
to, like,
particular places.
absorb
They're also
heat
testing those aft
to
flaps. We can
see
see there
which
just above
part
the
of
ship
the
where
like
disconnect,
heat
which
shield,
is
like
also
which
going to be
part of
something
the
to keep an eye out on.
fit, like the fan.
So yeah, it's going to be really
flaps.
interesting to see
Which
how
part of the
Ship
flaps,
38
like,
holds
heat
up
up the
with those
most during
bigger
your
patches
entry.
of tiles missing.
Probably
I want to be
to, like,
optimistic. I
reduce,
want to
like,
say this thing is a big
deformation
honking bit
of
of stainless steel
the
that's been
stainless
built
steel,
in,
like,
you know, South
flaps.
Texas in the sun. It's
So
been,
SpaceX
there's something
have
about
placed heat
vehicles
shield
built at
tiles in the
Starbase
flaps
that
or
just make them
adds
so
stringers onto
resilient to
those parts of
anything
the
you can
flaps
throw at them. I mean,
to,
we
like,
saw with
reduce the
Starship's
amount of,
first
like,
flight, they
deformation
tried to
during
set
your
off the
entry
flight termination
because normally
system, but the
that would
vehicle was so
happen.
strong that
So
the flight
the
termination system wasn't strong enough
stainless steel, they
to
would
actually
probably
destroy the vehicle.
inflate.
So my
That's
fingers
right.
are crossed it'll
I
make
don't
it all the
know.
way through. But yeah, those tiles, missing tiles, that is definitely something to keep an eye on.
And again, we may see things melt away that they are kind of aware that they are going to melt away just because they're testing.
look,
the,
by the way, so I just want to
thermal
mention
protection
that there's
system here.
frost
And then
in the
Alex, I
QD,
believe you're back
which means
now.
that they're probably already doing
Are we
fuel
going to see
loading.
some different maneuvers in the atmosphere too as Starship comes down to the ocean?
Well, as for what might be
Well,
different, we heard from SpaceX about that dynamic banking maneuver that they called, right?
Yeah, they're definitely
Getting
going
ready for when
fueling
Starship comes
as
back to Starbase and they
they
start
could, like-
catching
like,
ships,
I believe
right?
that
And
there's
so
a
we don't
valve
know
if they
what that
open it,
might
they're
look like.
releasing,
My whole
like,
sort of
high pressure
own
oxygen
theory,
into
if you will,
an environment,
is that it will,
like
it
a
will probably be
lower
sort of like a combination
like,
of pitch and roll of the
pressurized
ship and
environment,
try
which
to
means
align
that
itself with the
oxygen will be
direction of where the
immediately
tower
flowing
is.
to
Because
Starship.
when
try balancing
Starship
out that
launches from here
pressure.
from Pad 1, the launch tower is facing east, right?
don't
So
know
when the
if,
booster
like,
comes back,
the prope-
it's coming back to a
maybe,
tower
like,
that is
if the
facing it
propellant,
directly. When
like
the ship
the tank
comes
farm
back,
is like
if it comes
actually
to Pad
pressurized
1,
up to 5
the
bar,
ship will
or
be facing, 'cause
yeah, it's
gonna be
probably
coming
pressurized to a
west
higher
east, so
pressure.
it's going to be facing east, right?
to
So
at
no
least
problem
like
with that.
make it
But
like
future ships will actually be caught on Pad
like make
2
it possible
because
to
it's the one
flow
that is
like
currently with the hardware
propellant into the
that's sort
vehicle
of compatible with ship catches. So when that happens,
because
the ship needs to have a way to be able to sort of face south.
because like I
right,
heard that
ahead of
Starship
that
is
catch.
pressurized
And
up
so
to
my
5
guess is that probably
atmospheres.
this dynamic banking maneuver
So
is
yeah,
both a sort of like
hopefully
a
we can
roll
see-
in a pitch so that it
Yeah,
can
I
sort
don't
of
know, but,
reorient
like,
itself to
what really
face
matters
south
here is
and
that
be able to do that
the
flip
ship has
and
started
landing burn in that
propellant
orientation.
loading.
Now,
saw that
I have
vent,
no idea.
like,
That's a theory,
there was
right? That's
venting
my own
there.
theory. So I just
so
want to see this.
hopefully that's the
I
ship
just want to see this.
venting
SpaceX.
out
Let's go.
propellant like easing up
And we have to
pressure
get
as
through the
it's
entire
being
coast
filled up.
phase here. We have to get back into the atmosphere.
I'm gonna peek
in
back
those
with you. I'm gonna
ceremonies,
check- I'm
and then
gonna
we
just
can
get
see
food because,
exactly
like,
how
I
that
just woke
maneuver is
up.
going
Let me
to
just,
go.
like-
But it's going to be something
Okay,
to
actually,
watch,
it's not
and
gonna
that's
take
one
that
of the
much
things that
time,
we'll be
so
looking
it's
for
gotta-
today. So we will again not see a catch. We're not going to see a landing this time, or however you want to describe it of Starship. But what we should see is a good test of the booster on the way back down. We'll see it hit the ocean. That RAD, the Rapid Authorized Disassembly, although we have Alan in the chat here who says maybe we should call it RAPID, Radical Anticipated Planned and Intentional Disassembly, so we can come up with the proper acronym for that, followed by, of course, Starship going through the motions there. And one of the things that is amazing, I hope everybody sticks around for this if you're just tuning in for the first time, is that we're really for the first time in history seeing a spacecraft re-enter the atmosphere and have video live from that spacecraft for the entire way down. and that's due to the Starlink terminals that are on Starship, Ryan, right?
Yeah, I mean, Starship is literally so big that it can transmit through its wake with Starlink connectivity. And, you know, there's thousands upon thousands of Starlink satellites in low Earth orbit right now. SpaceX can communicate with them. With Starship, it has Starlink terminals
Wow.
built into it. And you can see these vents just going here at the tank farm.
Wow.
I mean, if this doesn't get you excited, I don't know what gets you excited, right? But
It's gonna
anyways,
be a
as I
lot-
was saying,
Yeah, finish your thoughts. Sorry.
as I was saying with that re-entry plasma, I mean, Starship is literally so big that its wake is big enough that the Starlink terminals can transmit through them, and they can transmit that live high-definition video back to the Starlink constellation. Even though traditionally, you know, even if you think of like the movie Apollo 13, that, you know, that gut-wrenching moment of like, will they come out of blackout? Starship doesn't have
Right.
blackout because of Starlink.
Right.
It's honestly, it's incredible.
And they're getting telemetry too, right? It's not just the video images, but they're able to keep track of its telemetry, collect data, because again, we're going to be basically ditching it in the ocean. So they're collecting all that live data on the way down. I'm sure it really informs the entire process of getting Starship ready for its upcoming missions. Now, booster prop loading is confirmed, Alex. And, you know, I don't know
Yep.
about you, but I mean, we've watched this a million times. But it seems like the venting is more significant than I remember it being recently. What's going
Yeah.
on the pad there?
Yeah, and speaking of venting, we just had the shut off of the OLM vent, so that's confirmation that all four main tanks on Starship are being loaded, both of the main tanks on the ship and both of the main tanks on the booster, because, you know, we had the update from SpaceX that they had started propellant load, but the propellant is both methane and oxygen, right? And so the last thing that we were waiting for was the liquid oxygen load on the first stage, and that is currently ongoing. We can see already some of that frost building up on the liquid methane tank of the ship. That's the one up top. And so, yeah, all of that activity, all of those vents that you can see there down below above the ticker, those are the subcoolers for the methane side of things. So those are the ones where the methane is currently like flowing through crazy and everything, and it's getting subcooled. that's why they're called subcoolers. Subcooling is essentially, instead of being at boiling temperature, right? Instead of boiling off and everything, it's just being cooled down even further so that it's denser and they can pack more in the same volume, right? And that's one of the things that enables some of this performance that Starship has to be able to do all of the stuff that they want to do. And that's a liquid oxygen on the ship side of things. But yeah, it's gonna get more frosty, more venti, because as they load propellant, you know, the tanks were empty, right? But there's a gas
Right.
inside. It's not like they're completely empty. There's a gas. So as you fill up the liquid, the gas gets compressed because you start occupying with the liquid more and more of that volume of the tank. And so you need to release that pressure. And so we're going to see all of these vents coming left, right, and center on the ship, on the booster. Things are going to get more active everywhere. It's just going to be bonkers.
I love bonkers, and I don't think people realize the scale of this thing. I haven't seen one in person yet, but you really have to go and see this, because we're looking at about 30 feet in diameter for this system here. It is enormous, and of course it is multiple stories tall, the size of a small skyscraper that will be lifting off the pad shortly. And Ryan, you know, this activity of fueling Starship, they've actually fueled this system far more times than they have launched it.
Yeah, because back in the earlier days, they would be doing testing of all of I mean, each individual component, or rather vehicle, each booster, each ship, it goes through cryogenic proof testing, which is essentially when SpaceX loads these tanks with cryogenic fluid to make sure they can retain that fluid at those colder temperatures. So every single vehicle that's flown has gone through that process. They've
Hi
also done
guys, as you
several
can see,
wet
the
press rehearsals.
both vehicles
Even
are
though
being
wet press
fueled now.
rehearsals this
I
time
just
around
like
was
gone to make a
particular salad.
sandwich.
You know, they literally rolled out
It's
the
still
ship
being
only
made,
2
it's
days
still being
ago
toasted, but
and
like,
stacked it overnight.
yeah, I'm very excited. We're actually going for a flight.
Full stack testing with this particular full stack.
I'm very happy right now
Over, you know,
because I was very
launch
worried that it
and
will not
from
fly at
different
all, but
configurations, so-
now there's frost
I-
lines
I-
here.
text,
Okay,
I
kinda
They've
the-
flown Booster 15 before, right? They know how
Okay,
Booster
but like
15 works. They've tested Ship 38.
we could
I
we
think
might
they put it in
actually
the bag.
be going for a flight
Yeah, and
in
once they start
approximately
fueling, we've seen
35
is that
minutes.
Things typically kind of run on
me
the schedule
just
here, and provided there's no weather or some errant
put the
boat or
notepad.
airplane entering in the restricted area, they tend to go. And we're about 35 minutes
Oh, no.
away right now.
Oh yeah,
from our
I was
waterfall.
making
So this
part like
fueling happens very
it?
close to the
Like
the
Filipino,
T0 mark here. So
was it
they
carbon
basically
arrow?
fuel up and they let it rip. And we also don't need a fuel gauge necessarily to see how far along the fuel is, Alex, do we? We can just take a look on the
Yeah.
side of the ship and see see that frost line growing.
Yeah, other rockets, you know, they have insulation on the
Okay,
tanks. and
I'm gonna
things
be
like
back in a
that.
few
Starship does
minutes,
not have
right,
any of
yeah.
that. Falcon 9 does not have either. So when we want to know where we are at with the propellant load and everything, we just look at the frost. There you can see. That's the methane tank on the booster, right? So you know, for people that might not have seen this before, and so it just tells us that it's a little bit loaded right now, and as we count down, that frost will rise because it's so cold. These propellants are so cold that, you know, the humidity in the air just turns ice, right? And in fact, you know, it's one of those. I mean, you've got there liquid oxygen. Liquid oxygen is like oxygen is like what, 20%, a little bit over 20% of our air. You literally have part of our air liquefied inside of
Right.
Starship, right? So like it's a kind of propellant that could liquefy the air, literally.
And what's really cool, if you haven't seen one of these before, is that as fueling is continuing, we've got some overlays here of the prop load process. We get this cloud that kind of goes all over the ground of all this condensation and venting going on. It looks really cool. So what are we looking at here, gentlemen?
Yeah, those are the tanks on the tank farm. There's liquid methane, liquid oxygen. In between, there are liquid nitrogen tanks. Of course, you wouldn't put next to each other liquid oxygen and liquid methane tanks. That's why the liquid nitrogen is sort of in between. It's an inert gas. So between liquid oxygen and liquid nitrogen, you've got there literally liquefied air, right? And there's no surprise that SpaceX is setting up their own air separation unit in the future, probably less than a year from now. Here in this view, we're probably going to see that because it's being built across the launch sites. So we're going to see that being built. They're going to take the air. It's got nitrogen. It's got oxygen. The nitrogen is used for a lot of this venting that you see there, the subcooling, etc., etc. A lot of the chill downs and tank farm activity is related to the use of liquid nitrogen. And then the liquid oxygen, of course, is being used on Starship for that. They'll also have this purification plant as well for liquefied natural gas. They're going to bring that in and turn it into liquid methane. So really, like this launch pad a year from now or even 2 years down the line is going to look so much different. So, you know, savor it as it is right now because it's not going to last.
And so, Alex, what I'm hearing from you is that SpaceX is basically going to get into the chemical engineering and gas business. Is that what you're saying? That they'll be doing some of this on site?
Yeah, normally this is the sort of thing that you will see them actually asking other companies because there are obviously vendors that, you know, air separation units and things like that are really common. It's a very common industry because a lot of people need oxygen, a lot of people need nitrogen across the world, right? So these are established systems and established companies. So SpaceX just goes to them and they're like, hey, we want this amount of oxygen and nitrogen and we want it in 5 hours, right? It's like, so instead of having to go to these companies, which again, they are used to supplying all of this, but they're not used probably to the start stretching these vehicles and everything, right? So the thing that they want to cut is the middleman. Instead of going to a company and saying, hey, we want this, they're just going to do that themselves. And so that's great.
And we have these cameras in Florida, I believe, are coming up here.
Yeah, as the sun is setting here in Starbase, it's actually
Hi guys, I'm
setting
back.
in Florida, further east.
Yeah, I made myself like Karak
And
Chine.
that's
It's
one
like
thing
a
about NSF
croissant
that's
sandwich.
amazing is
Yeah.
that we have cameras all over the
Wow,
place.
look at
And look, that's beautiful. And as much as this is a space nerd operation, it is also a video nerd operation. I happen to be both. I think many of us on the
Oh.
NSF team are as well.
They're
And look at
waving
these
at
beautiful
us.
shots.
Tia's
we go.
there.
Stia's there, and we've got live cameras all over the place that are transmitting 24/7. So
Okay,
it
yeah,
comes
so,
because of all the support that we have from all of you watching here. So, for example,
There's no
let's see
other
if I get this
delay.
name
Hopefully,
right.
if there's gonna be a delay, like a
Muahaha
hold,
Alpha Tango
which is a bit
Seri,
too long,
who came in
while
with a
all the
$63.63
vehicles are really fully
super
fueled.
chat. Pointy end,
Sadly,
pointy,
SpaceX might have to go
pointy
for
end up, pointy end
recycling,
down. Let's
which
go.
would
That's
probably
definitely what we
mean
want to
that
see here.
the launch will be scrubbed, but hopefully that
Magic
doesn't happen. We're
SND,
still going.
probably about our
There's
next
no
question
bad
here.
clouds.
Wants to know what about the dilithium
Everything looks
crystals?
good. The
And
tower
I think
doesn't
that
need
will
to
come
be
when we
ready
get
for a
my
catch
warp
because
drive,
it was
right?
just gonna
Is
go
that-
for
is that
offshore
how it
divert
works?
today.
So matter,
It's probably
antimatter,
gonna be
there
So
are
yeah,
crystals and all that.
Yeah.
Probably
one
gonna
day,
be a long
one day.
race.
Mark my words. They already got it. You know that. So Harry Camaro, $19.99. Thank you for your support. What a wonderful day. I wish there
Yeah,
were.
I'm in right now.
I wish I were there like last year's Godspeed Starship V2. So thank you very much for that. Muaha also donated 50 Red Team memberships along with Troy Rupert, and those memberships get you into a lot of our 24/7 live streams that you can check out. So thank you everyone for your support. Now I've got a question here that one of you might be able to answer from Toby,
So yeah,
who wants to know on a $20 super chat. The
the
aft
booster and
flaps,
ship
one,
have
1
frost
meter
in all
forward from
tanks.
the lip of the engine sphere, getting it out of the
Getting
chaotic
really excited
wind,
right
potentially
now.
sparing it
We're now
damage
30
from
minutes
this
away,
entry
29
plasma.
minutes
So
actually.
was there some movement of the
Yeah.
aft flaps? I don't know which one of you might know the answer to that question.
Might be related to what we saw on flight 10.
By the way, it's
T
my
plus
friend's
47
birthday.
minutes,
His
right?
name is
But
John.
they had a bit of an oopsie there.
Yeah, if there's anyone in the chat,
I'm not
I can't really
sure
see your
that's,
comment though, but if
that's
there's
the
anyone in the
reasoning.
chat,
My
say like
thinking is
happy birthday,
related to
John.
the Raptor engine
Yeah.
chill lines, which by the way, we should see that sort of activity comes up in about 8 minutes from now. Or 9 minutes, I should say, actually, math. but yeah, that's one of the things that it's really important to take into account, that with the damage that we saw on Flight
I
10,
want to talk
might
about
actually be related
how I
to
started watching
those vents
Starship.
coming off.
Actually
literally
started with
where
IFT1,
the-
or I was
the
sitting around
flaps sort of melt,
as a little
I guess,
kid, but
if
then
you
like
will. There we go. That's
all of a
that's the
sudden when I
event,
was
and
looking at YouTube, I
boom,
saw
there.
literally
That
IFT1
was not
live.
good. There's like an
Right
arrow
now, a
over
few
there.
minutes away
Oh,
from
we can
flight,
see
I
it.
watched
You can
it.
see a little bit of
It was-
venting. That is
it was
not entirely
amazing.
because they are engine
It
chill
was a
right
big,
now.
huge
It's happening
coincidence that I
later, but
managed to
because
see
of
it
the engine
live.
chills, they're
But
loading
I
the
managed to see it
production
live.
onto the ship, and so those
Then
engine chill
IFT2
lines are
came.
getting filled up.
I didn't manage
But
to
they're
watch
still
it
not
live,
doing
but
the
it was very
sort
close
of,
to it,
flowing
but
that
sadly it
production
wasn't.
through the
So like I
engines
wasn't
yet.
really
It's
that
gonna
like
happen in about 9 minutes from now.
Interesting.
excited.
And then some Norwegian
Yeah.
crowns are being
But
donated
IFT3 I
here
watched it
from
live,
Jared
and
Alden.
the difference
Thank you
from
very
watching
much
it live
for
is
your
that
support of the
you
channel.
know
I hope I
that
can get
that
your
vehicles are
super chat
already in
up
the
there.
air. It's
Keeps the cameras rolling.
Actually,
Absolutely, we got cameras everywhere.
it's
And
actually, like,
some of you may recall from the
flying,
first launch of
which is very
Starship, we
exciting
had a
if you
van
say-
too
if
that
you
got
tell
a
me.
bit pummeled
Yeah.
by concrete from the first launch of Starship. We called it Danger Van. So that was quite a scene. We'll have to get that footage up at some point later in the show here. So, Ryan, I know you're keeping an eye on things. What are we seeing at Starbase right now?
We are seeing propellant continuing to flow, those frost lines continuing to rise. I mean, just look at this. Everything is getting absolutely frosty and wonderful. Oh, this is what gets you excited, right? We can also see, I believe, that engine chill line going now as well, just out of the aft flap there, and you can see all the way across the mud flats there. The clouds starting to form, starting to flow.
I wonder if
Fingers
SpaceX put a
crossed they
camera
don't
in one
block
of
out our
the
dune camera that we
boilerplate
have there. We have a
Starlinks.
couple robot cameras in the dunes there. Fingers
I
crossed
wish
they
when
stay away.
the flight
But
before the
especially
flight
when they
starts,
did
I'm
those
gonna
early morning
watching the
launches,
TV,
I mean,
so
I'm glad they don't do the early
it's
morning
probably gonna
launches
be
anymore,
kind of
to be honest
delayed.
with you. But when they
Yes.
did do
Yeah.
those early
Good for all
morning
of us.
launches,
Hold up.
yeah, when they did do them,
I'm
they were
actually
just,
make my
so
microphone a bit
beautiful,
more
so cinematic.
sensitive.
But I'm sure SpaceX is going to have some beautiful views as well, as do we, coming up here shortly. And some other beautiful views.
Okay, yeah, I think it's better. This is kind of too loud, actually. Okay, yeah. Although my voice sounds very
You know what I'm saying?
loud, hopefully you can hear me from my living room
Get this patch done.
as I sit in my couch watching the flight. Yeah.
There's no shipping, so if you want the patch, shop.nasaspaceflight.com. You can get it on anything. I've got it on my
Eating food right now.
patch.
If that's why you're hearing some like
Yes,
crunching.
it's on a hoodie. I mean, you can literally get the patch on anything you like. Shop.nasaspaceflight.com. There you go.
And I hear that the patch batches, there's only about half of them left. They're selling out, so you got to get in. Once they're gone, right?
Yeah, we only order a fixed supply of those, just simply the way that the economics work. I'll stop pretending to know what I'm talking about now. But yeah, we have 50% of the patches remaining. So yeah, once they're gone, they don't come back. I know we've said that 11 times at this point, but some people still ask, I really want one more just to finish out my collection. Sorry guys, once they're gone, they're gone.
Okay, guys.
NSF Polo on here.
We're getting very close to launch. I recommend that you get popcorn because it's going to be very exciting. Yeah.
It's amazing as we've been covering these. This is now the 11th test flight that
25 minutes away from flight.
NSF has covered all the other stuff that SpaceX does.
Hopefully there's no holds at the T-minus 40-second mark.
The pre-launch components become less and less eventful.
Yeah, hold up, I'll be back real quick. I'm gonna just...
Propellant is getting loaded in as we speak. The frost line is growing up the side of the rocket. Alice, what is SpaceX doing right now as all this is happening? Because clearly when you load this much explosive propellant under pressure into the world's largest rocket ever, you've got to be keeping an eye on things, because even though they make it look easy, this is not easy.
Yeah, it's a lot of propellant. I mean, one of the things that we always put into context is that...
Okay, guys, so, I'm very excited right now that booster propellant is...
more than 10 times that
hopefully there's no hold, but both ship and booster are very frosty. Hopefully they get even frostier by the minute. Okay, what we don't want to see here yet is OLM venting and tower vent. If that happens, if there's a tower vent or OLM vent, SpaceX might be going for a recycle, but there's no venting there yet. And we are still proceeding with propellant load. So hopefully we don't see any vents from the OLM or tower vents. I want to talk about differences in IFT-11. If you haven't heard about it, the booster is still going for a similar descent phase. I don't know what angle of attack the booster is having, but I think it's going to be same from last flight or maybe a bit higher. But the booster will transition to 13 engines, but instead of the usual 3, it's going to be in 5. Which means that there's going to be 2 extra symmetrical, engines lit. I think they're going to be using a straw type of sumps, which try sucking extra propellant from the landing tank. So yeah.
Guidance computers, so many things that go on in the background. I don't know. It's always a miracle, right? It's almost a miracle that they can fly this thing, and this is the 11th time. And not only fly it up, but also try to make it come back.
I want to talk about my KSB series. You probably are still waiting for episode 6. In reality, I already started 2 missions. I'm not gonna spoil it actually, but one of them is in the orbital lab. It's a kind of a difficult EVA I did, which kind of failed, but not really. Yeah. But Adobe Premiere Rush is very laggy when I do when I speed up clips, so yeah.
Exactly, it gets in contact with the wall of the tank, and then that sort of insulates as well.
Okay, we're still live here.
Portions of the frost prevent
I'm very excited for the flight, but at the same time, I'm worried about those clouds at the background, probably behind the camera. Those look very tall. Hopefully, there's no anvil clouds. That's the only cloud I know because of SpaceX, because of previous Starship flights, specifically Flight 10. Yeah, I actually watched all 3 attempts, including the 3rd successful launch attempt. Yeah, but hopefully there's no clouds. But my NASA Spaceflight app says it's 80% go for flight.
Here's a related question, and I don't know if Ryan may know the answer to this.
Oh, I'm a,
Does Starship shrink at all given the temperatures that we're exposing the ship to? This comes from Knoxville in the chat.
I'm sure there must be a little bit of change in the dimensions, just simply because this is, at the end of the day, this is stainless steel. Right? You heat it up, it expands.
20 minutes before flight.
Really cold, still from depth. So we do see some shrinkage. I don't know if that's the right term, but we do, and that's the reason why vehicles like Starship hear them creep, right? And that's simply because these fluids.
Haven't seen any progress in the booster fueling yet? Wait. No, it's just slow. The fueling process is slow, hopefully. Let me just go back in the stream.
This is the sort of thing that you will see them
Launch components become less.
ship. They are
Right, stainless steel is not just one thing. There's a lot of different.
Yeah, it's gone. Oh, okay, I saw a jump of fuel. Okay, yeah, so we're definitely still. Right, yeah.
Wait, flats. Have we seen those before?
I believe we've seen similar, not to this extent, I don't think, trying to remember back, but we've seen,
Okay,
I don't recall Alex seeing anything like this before, because there's literally,
so get ready. I'm sorry, I choked on food. But like, get ready for that flight to start very soon. 18 minutes. Okay, I'm very worried here. This is the part where,
it's a bit safe.
like, a scrub is very volatile,
That's those spots. But yeah.
where the ship and booster can't really return back to its safe state. They're gonna have to recycle all that fuel. If they wanted to go like, if they thought that they're not really ready yet. Starship really needs to be ready right now. I hope there's no clouds above Starship, as I can see in this camera here. The Dune cam. Yeah.
The flight path of a couple of Falcon 9 rockets, and I was able to live stream from the Bahamas back to NSF headquarters here for some of our launch coverage.
I wonder when SpaceX will show the booster like blowing up intentionally. They said it will blow up intentionally, right? Because they're gonna drop it from a high altitude. We already know it's gonna blow up, so they might as well like show us the footage of that.
Launch day is like Christmas.
But maybe they don't wanna, because I don't really know, because like their motto is learning from failures, and that would be a very good. Actually, I just want to see the thing, like the booster like blow up after like touchdown, because I was always very interested in seeing that. Ever since IFT 11, booster 11's like explosion leak. It's actually expected that the booster and ship would blow up after touchdown, because they're not made to survive tipping over, because that exceeds the force of their like, structural limits. Because you really expect a huge engineering masterpiece to like slam into a body of water, high speeds. Yeah. Okay, after.
Operational Starship and testing it. And Ryan, this is a mission where they're going to push the hardware harder because they can.
yeah, I mean, unfortunately, with the rest in pieces of Ship 36 a few months ago, back in June or not, yeah, that kind of upset the SpaceX plans to finally
Don't worry, I'm not actually I don't know actually if I'm in risk or not, so.
bring the boosters into the Gulf, and they have been testing things out.
But I swear, if a viewer just like leaks my IP address right now.
And Alex, when we get to the more operational phase here, at some point, Starship, instead of going into the Indian Ocean, it will
Okay.
on purpose. That's right. Remember, there's 2 on-purpose missions today, which is why
Checking if we're in time.
future missions comes back around to
Yeah, we're not.
or get caught. At some point, that booster, which is going to be has to get put aside, and then you're going to land Starship in the same spot.
Or even better, once that one is reconfigured, I guess, with the new design of both the tower and the launch mount, then they can start catching boosters and ships on both towers, right? Like, you've got maybe the booster coming back on one tower and the ship coming back on the other.
Oh god, I didn't notice. We're already 15 minutes away from launch. No holds. No holds at all.
Maybe the next day, that's probably playing out. Yeah.
There shouldn't be any holds whatsoever. I don't want to see any hold at all.
There's gonna be plenty of
If I see a hold, then I'm scared, okay? I'm gonna become very scared.
coming online soon, so that's really exciting as well. 'Cause that's more towers, that's more launch pads, and so many more places where they can bring ships back to look at them and then refly them again. It's gonna be
Oh yeah, if you're wondering what I'm drinking right now, I'm just drinking Karak chai. No, just chai. Oh, there's no one hearing.
Look across all the launch towers there. Of course, you've got 39A and B, which are the old shuttle launch sites. And 39A still has most of the infrastructure from the height of its tower, Falcon 9. that-
Oh my god, there's an ad in my TV. Ah.
And what's crazy when you look just to the right when you see that tower for Starship, it is so
I swear, like, ads usually play at the perfect time.
typically sit
Like, literally, when something crazy happens, even in IFT5, when the booster was about to be caught, there was a literal ad playing. Like, oh my god.
I have not. I plan on doing that next year. Once B3 starts launching out and whatnot. There's also
Oh, there's
that,
Okay, I'm gonna share this now.
for now in studio, right? I'm not super duper useful in the field, if you will. But I do plan to
Oh wait! Oh, sorry guys. I'm very sorry. Oh no.
someday.
Okay, I accidentally left this and break. Oh god, no. Oh, sorry guys. Oh god. Oh no. Oh no. Okay guys, I'm very sorry I left it there.
So Ryan, we're about 12 minutes and change from the T0 mark. We're not hearing anything. This has been, not that it's bad that we're not hearing anything. Sometimes no news is good news, right?
What no news is pretty much always good news, and this is something that has been so unsettling. I would admit, from the NSF perspective as well, we haven't had any major problems, which is kind of unsettling because usually there's some problem that pops up exactly when we don't want a problem, right? So NSF operations have been pretty smooth. SpaceX's operations have been pretty smooth. We are
Okay.
minus 12 minutes and counting. That's the important part. Still counting. I don't believe we have had anything, any rumblings of any holes or anything like that from SpaceX. So yeah, fingers crossed, everything continues to go smoothly.
And this is the last time.
Okay, let me just take a photo real quick. Oh god, that's my face. Of this. I'm just gonna be posting this on my messenger for. Okay, never mind.
This system, even though it looks like the prior launches, this system is its own unique rocket. Of course, we did see the booster come back once.
Let me just delete that.
We call it a
Okay.
RAD. So be on the lookout for that
Yeah.
already as things go.
A lot of people really don't understand that the whole purpose that we expect them to blow up, it's not because it's a failure, but because, like the booster, right? After it's done its landing burn, if it splashes down in one piece and softly and everything, it's gonna be bombing on the water. And that happened already last year on Flight 6, where Booster 13 did this divert, right, to the water, because the tower was not ready for catching, whatever. So they had to divert the booster. It landed
Okay,
it broke off into pieces, but one of the pieces, the liquid oxygen tank, remained bobbing in the water for too long. And in fact, it drifted south to Mexican waters. So it was it was an ordeal, right? So they do this planned maneuver where it's like the landing burn ends at altitude.
Okay, just made a quick post that I'm live to my family members. 10 minutes away from flight. Okay, ship looks like it's almost near completion of fuel loading. Booster is also near fuel loading, complete fuel loading.
No ship is designed to survive a takeover as much as we want to survive, right? Hey, if it does, I'm all for it, right? We'll see what they do with that. But it's a
Okay, we're actually now 10 minutes away.
no matter how soft or how gentle that
By the way, we expect the ship and booster to blow up at the end of their flights, where they touch down and blow up. When they tip over, because they're not really expected to survive. They're not made to survive tipping over in the middle of the ocean, as they're not going to be recovered at the middle of the ocean, of course. So yeah. Okay, everything. SpaceX is showing this like new thing here. I never seen this before. Maybe this was in last flight, but I was in NASA space flight stream. But that's new.
Brock Bowers, a $500 super chat tip. Thank you very much for your.
I think we don't want to see like 20 miles per hour, like 20, like 15 or 20 miles per hour of wind. Oh, ship is.
So we'll have to have him let us know about that.
I don't know if we really need. If SpaceX really needs to fully fuel those
Bless this test
tanks. I don't know
very much. I know
for the ship, but I think they're gonna still fuel it fully.
but there's a whole crew of folks who are out and about at Starbase bringing these images to you, and it's not easy. So definitely thank you for all the contributions that help keep the lights on and the cameras rolling here. So, Alex, do you have some news from
and that was
from
big
Cat here?
support as well.
Excellent.
Yeah, we are. I mean, right now the word from SpaceX is that everything is really good for launch right at the time that they are.
I don't really get that people really
We're just a bit over
identify success by saying that whether the vehicle didn't blow up or whether the vehicle blew up or not. Actually, success depends on what you're aiming to achieve in that mission. Actually, if you were to aim to send payload to orbit, then it would be best to not blow up the vehicle. But if your intention is to see how the vehicle performs in specific situations, and then and then you plan to dispose of it by splashing it down in the middle of the ocean, that yeah, that's a success, even if it blows up, because you disposed of it at the end of the flight. And in addition, you already complete all the goals, the mission's already complete, so it doesn't matter what happens after that. Even if it blows up and tipping over and splash down, that's not a failure, that's a success. Because we don't really the mission doesn't record that event because we already completed it. In addition, recovering the ship would be very futile, as even if you were to recover it, I think that oxidation or any type of reaction with the salt, ocean salt would make the recovered vehicle or any parts of the vehicle or starship very unreliable flight flown data. So I think it's better to just catch a ship than to waste resources trying to recover one.
Even just being on the ground, it's going to be incredible to see. In terms of going,
Yeah, I'll be back real quick.
pretty similar, but it's going to have 3 grid fins on the booster in a T shape. I'm still not 100% certain on that grid fin configuration to say, but you know, we're approaching 6 minutes here. I think I can let the T-shaped grid fins out of my head for the next few minutes.
Okay, we are 6 minutes away from flight. We're not having any holds at all. Okay, you can all see this, right? Yeah, I'll take that as a yes, but we are 5 minutes away now. I'm live right now. Both devices are online. TV will have some lag of about Doesn't look like I have a lot. It has a lot of lag.
5 minutes and change. We'll see how
1 second of lag. Don't worry.
there's some big changes coming. This is still the old hardware.
If we don't see a hold, I would be very happy, because if we were to see a hold, it's okay, but I want to make sure that actually, I would be happier if there was no hold, but SpaceX would. But like, if there's like something that doesn't look good, yeah, they would definitely take a hold. Even I would take a hold of that, but I would not take a hold for that long, because we might, like, SpaceX might have to go for like recycling if they take a hold for too long. I think ship is full of propellant. I'm gonna be going away from my PC setup. I'm gonna be standing watching the flight. Hold up. Can I? Okay, you can hear me from here, but yeah. 5 minutes away from flight. Okay. 5 minutes away from flight. So what we want to see here, if there weren't to be any hold, is that we would see detonation suppression system, and what are they used before ignition?
Pay for the bills here, Ryan, right?
Yeah, exactly. And I think in the background there for a moment we heard Jack shouting, check. Jack, your microphone works, just so you know.
All right, Jack.
Okay, guys, so, 4 minutes before flight. Okay, ship looks like it's complete with propellant load. Booster gonna conclude propellant load. Let's check here. Maybe 2 minutes before T0. Yeah, 2 minutes and 50 seconds. We're very close to propellant load. Oh, methane tank on the booster looks like it's complete, but we can't really see progress with the column dome of the booster. Okay, this is getting exciting. It's getting very exciting right now. Let me just go back to my position here. Okay, guys, I'm very far away from my setup. I'm gonna be watching the flight from my television. If there's gonna be any ad playing, I'm gonna be watching on my computer. It's a redundant system, so yeah. Godspeed, Starship. Okay, guys, here is NASA space flight. Like, yeah, this is gonna be my reaction to flight. Booster propellant load completed. Let me just test. Test. Okay, 2 minutes before flight.
Been completed on Starship, and this thing is still ticking down. I'm only hearing good words. Looks like everything is ready to go. No expecting any holds or anything in the team. And it's gonna fly
Yes,
through,
Alex.
right?
Okay, guys,
Yeah. So for those that may not know the
get ready for flight.
40 seconds,
1 minute 40 seconds.
right? That T-minus 40-second hold point, optional point. They don't expect to take that, then they'll fly through. At T-minus 25 seconds, we get the detonation suppression system, this mist of water under the launch. Then the deluge system kicks in at T-minus
Okay, guys, get ready for
and
flight.
a few seconds later, lift off.
Okay,
East over the Gulf, we're gonna get hopefully that max Q vapor, right? That vapor cone.
Okay.
And hopefully we get through hot staging at T plus 2.5 minutes. Boy, we're getting there.
1
like a minute.
minute.
I know we got a
to
minute
go.
left here, but the hot staging ring will not be a feature in the future.
Okay, T-minus 1 minute before flight.
Well, they'll
It
still
will
have
be
that hot
integrated.
staging
Hopefully
ring
there's no hole.
integrated into the booster's design, so it wouldn't be jettisoned. It'll be a reusable part of the vehicle. It's not a reusable part of this vehicle, though, however, because unfortunately for Booster 15 and Ship 38, it is the end of the road for these two vehicles. We are now going.
Okay, let's see if there's going to be a holder on.
Second point. We should be moving through, of course, those
Not
uplinks
holding.
that Alex is
So
listening into.
we are going for it.
Let's go.
Okay, we are, okay, they said they're holding,
Going through that hold point, approaching
Flight director is
20
go for
seconds
launch.
away. And SpaceX is go for launch. We're go for launch. Everyone in chat, you've got to be go for launch.
Okay,
On the orbital launch mode, because for one final time, here comes that detonation
Okay.
suppression system, and here comes the deluge. Should be flowing up.
detonation suppression system.
Here's ignition.
Ignition. Okay, lift off. Okay, the vehicle has lifted off. Let's see if we have all engines. Yeah, looks like we have all engines. We have Mach diamonds, but we don't really see how much engines are online. It doesn't matter if we lose one, but if we have multiple engines offline, then that's not good. Okay, vehicle has lifted off. Holy, vehicle has made it past the tower already. And that's the roll maneuver. Yeah, okay, now it's going for a pitch maneuver. Okay, looks like all engines are online. Okay, and that's the spaceflight stream is rumbling already. Okay, everything looks good.
And as
Yes.
we pass through 60 seconds,
Yes, okay.
the roar of 33 Raptor engines rolling across South Texas, arriving at our microphones. That is a
Okay.
beautiful final ascent from Pad 1 at Starbase, and we are pitching downrange, rolling as expected, headed for hot staging of Booster 15 and Ship 38, and we are now starting to see the vapor expanding off the exhaust of Super Heavy. As the vehicle gets higher, the atmosphere gets thinner, there's less pressure pushing in on that Mega Mark Diamond, and that's why the exhaust starts to expand. I mean, just look at this beautiful shot from, I believe, the rocket launch, approaching
Okay,
1 minute and 40 seconds. A
this is
descent, continuing
still a volatile situation. We still have hot stage, but
just beautiful.
the launch infrastructure is not affected at all, not that much. So the launch infrastructure is not
You
safe.
should see now the roll for hot staging. They roll sort of heads up position for the hot staging. Remember that when the booster flips, it flips up, right? And it flips
2
back
minutes
for
to
that
the flight.
hot staging.
My TV's delayed by, I think,
We should see that maneuver.
2 minutes, 2 seconds, 2 seconds.
There we go. Rotation
Rolling for
of the
hot
vehicle.
staging.
This
10
rotation,
seconds away.
I don't really
Over
see,
2
but
minutes
they
and
said
20
it
seconds
right.
into flight. We should see the flames.
I think that's the heat shield side of the ship, because they don't really see any white
on
frost.
Ship 38. Standing by for hot staging.
Boost. Okay, Miko should have it anytime soon here.
Momentarily.
There
Here
we
it
go.
goes.
Miko.
Shutdown of Super Heavy.
Hot stage.
Ignition.
Come on,
Starship.
hot stage.
Another clean separation. Up flips
Wow.
the booster. Here comes the boost backburn. Thank you, Booster 15.
Okay,
That's now coming back to the Gulf for this new experimental landing.
hot stage was successful.
Engines,
Okay,
12 engines, and then 3.
One engine out on the booster right now, by the way, so actually 12. It seems like one of them did not realize for the boost background, but it's okay. It's one of those things with Super Heavy, right, where it's like, it's got plenty of maneuvering this and margins.
And we can see
With
there that
13
appears to be
engines.
one of the Raptors on the 13 ring of Raptors, so fingers crossed that doesn't
Yep.
impact the landing burn too much. Because
Okay, at least all engines of the ship are online.
73 Raptor engines continue running as expected.
And looks like boost backburn might be wrapping up.
Yes.
About the NSFT too.
Okay.
Exactly,
Yeah,
beautiful
so-
tracking shots. We will, there we go, we can see
There's
the
shutdown.
shutdown.
Okay. I think that's like 10 engines off.
And the hot
approaching
staging
4
ring
minutes
should
into
separate.
And it's like more like 9 inches out. Okay, I think that's all engines off because like I see that hot stage ring.
separation of
No,
the
that's
staging ring. It's so small on my preview. Has it just already? I'm trying to
okay.
see.
Never mind. That's just mine. But like,
Yeah, you have to look at it closely from the
okay.
ground. but
Oh yeah, those hot
it's
stage rings.
black
That's
rings, on the top of the booster.
okay.
And the booster and the hot staging ring will
boosters
actually
now
come
coasting
through
down
in
to
tandem
the
for a little while here.
Gulf
Because
of
we get
Mexico.
different parts of the atmosphere and two very different aerodynamic styles of these two vehicles. They will become quite apparent because the hot staging ring will continue kind of floating.
Okay, I guess that's a booster venting
The
to
booster, however,
oxygen.
will come shooting straight back
Yeah, that is
down
definitely
the atmosphere through its landing pad. A reminder, we're not coming back to the launch pad on this final flight from Pad 1. We are going to the Gulf, and that is exactly what we are expecting. Booster 15 flying for the second time, done pretty much everything perfectly so far, and is now
Oh, that's a hot stage ring, I think.
towards
Below
the
the sorry, that's
we can see a very separation now of the booster and the hot staging ring, but very shortly expect the booster to stop flying past the hot staging ring.
And the vents that you can see there from the booster, those are planned vents. They're dumping a little of that liquid oxygen remaining on the main tank. They're not going to be using a sort of remaining tank that they have just for the landing burn. So all of the liquid oxygen remaining on the main tank,
Okay,
they don't need that.
I think boosters now in its aero phase right now. It's entering the atmosphere.
You can see, also a lot
You
of
can see the hot stage
from
ring
the
pass
booster's own vents, right?
by
That uses
the
as
booster.
reaction thrusters.
Boosters in its high angle of
And so
attack.
we're now about to see that entry of the booster. It's coming in hot. Look at that.
Wow.
Yeah, just
Great
about
track
20
today,
seconds
too.
to go. And we now wave bye-bye to the hot staging ring for the
Okay,
final time.
okay, look at that engine, like,
It's going to be
engine being
hot
low.
staging rings from here on out. Booster again.
That's the vented liquid, like, that's a vented liquid oxygen burning as it makes contact with the atmosphere.
Slow itself down.
Okay,
Under
get
10
ready
seconds
for
to
landing
go.
burn startup.
See
We expect to see 5 engines in the final phase, but hopefully 12 engines, not 13. There's one engine out, actually 13. Hopefully that engine's relight.
Trying to track
Okay,
it.
there's
Okay,
Looks
on
like,
the track.
here we go.
okay.
The roof of the Margaritaville Hotel has a better view, but that
Ignition!
full boost.
Okay. Oh, okay, this is good.
13 engines lit up.
That was 5 engines. 5 engines, not 5 engines.
That hover over the Gulf, and then a shutdown of those
Okay,
engines.
hover.
It's with
Okay, that's
engines
it. Okay, now
there.
the booster will blow up. Yes!
Incredible shot.
Yes, the booster will now intentionally blow up. It has. Yes! Yes, the booster has completed its objectives.
Exactly.
Unexpected outcome.
Booster 15, thank you very
Okay.
much. Beautiful clean ascent, a beautiful
Yes.
expected explosion in the Gulf. Thank you so much for your service.
Okay, let's go.
Lot 2 boosters to fly, and fingers crossed things are still going well with ship 38, just over 7 minutes into flight. SpaceX is
Yeah.
great to see the ship. just being
Everybody at
honest, but,
SpaceX celebrating, of course.
Yep. On board with Starship, we can see 6 Raptors still running on ship 38. This is looking good. Fingers crossed it's another repeat of what we got last time around.
Yeah, and I'm happy to report that all of the 13 engines lit up for the landing burn. Then it transitioned into those 5 engines, right? Successfully. Now we know those 2 engines that it used from the middle ring of 10, and then it transitioned down to the 3 center engines successfully and did that hover. We saw that from our ground tracking, but the telemetry and everything. It looked great. It was amazing.
Okay.
It's so weird seeing the booster hovering there above the ocean.
Okay, the ship shoot.
Especially given how
Hopefully the
big
ship
it
makes
is,
it
right?
past the
This is
dreaded
not-
8-minute mark. Although expected it's not. Although I'm still scared though. I'm still scared.
Some great video. I'll put it over in a second.
Oh, okay, hopefully that's just lag. Yeah, that's lag. Thank God, okay. We've passed 8 minutes. Yes, okay. That's worrying, but still worrying.
We'll have a successful tracking from Florida. I'm wondering. I'm keeping D in my thoughts right now. Speaking of,
Come on, you can make it.
A little stretch of light on the horizon from Florida.
There it
So much
is.
D-wise rolling out. I think it's like a little bit of a jellyfish.
I need to see the ship. I need to see the ship.
look at that.
Oh God.
Oh, this is absolutely spectacular.
Okay.
Florida, looking over the Caribbean on the horizon, ship 38 burning.
Ooh, that
I
looks
think
like our back shut down.
Okay.
you can see this beautiful formation formation
Arvac, yeah.
of the gases. Oh my goodness.
God, please don't come in. Okay, yeah, Arvac shut down.
Spectacular.
Beautiful.
Okay, I need to see onboard videos of the ship.
That looks to me like ship engine cut off. And indeed confirmed.
Yes. Okay, yes. That doesn't look like an explosion. It looks like ship engine off.
Look at this. Just look at this. Absolutely a beautiful final send-off.
Yes!
Here's DY's doing the tracking, by the way. Huge shout out to them. This is just absolutely spectacular.
Okay.
Final send-off.
Everything looks
Final V2
good.
from Pad 1. It can't get any better than this.
That's amazing.
So I'd say we're off to a good start.
Yeah, and you can see that on board with Ship 38. It is into
Yes!
injection.
Okay.
Next up is the Indian Ocean gone. Oh yeah.
We're using whiteboards every day to transform the way we bring videos to life.
Oh my gosh,
As a
ads.
agency, whiteboards let
There's
us
two ads!
real
Oh my
time
God.
Our clients' ideas.
They both happen at the same time, man.
Of activities here as they're getting ready.
Just making sure this is live right now.
So, wow, Alex. So these got to begin. Look at
Oh, it's
this.
live.
And this is
Yeah,
what
the-
we do here, right? We get everybody out in the field. To do some meetings, and something just popped in
that's-
the engine bay.
That's just the venting. They're dumping remaining liquid oxygen, just like they did with the booster, and that's what D is seeing right now, because that gas is oxygen that is being vented right now. That's what we're seeing here, illuminated by the sun. But as the ship sort of goes into the shadow of the Earth, right, it's gonna disappear. So we're probably gonna be losing it soon, because it's part of the whole thing. We're seeing it because
Right.
the sun is shining on Starship, but at some point it will stop shining
Right.
on Starship.
It's going to go beyond the where the camera can see it, but just amazing shots coming out of Florida and Texas, and great work by the team here to get everything in. So Alex, what's the next milestone? We have to burn through.
Okay,
Yeah, right now. Oh, look at that. That is gorgeous. So yeah, just
Hi, guys.
Sunset.
exactly.
Okay,
ish.
let's see
Sunset,
what.
yeah.
Okay,
So
the next
week
event
the
here is going to
milestone
be
should
payload
around 7
deployment.
minutes. They're going to be doing that payload deploy demonstration, right?
Yeah.
So the ship is slowly turning into the correct orientation for that.
I think I'm gonna watch payload
This is
deployment.
amazing.
It's
Yeah,
still
we're
on my
gonna see
TV.
that
Yeah.
Payload bay door open. The Starlink simulators will be deployed and things like that. So stay tuned for
Okay,
that in just a few minutes.
All right, very good. So we'll keep an eye on things here. And one of the things I'm curious about, because we talked about this on Countdown to Launch the other day, was that the prior Starlink deployment mechanism, by SpaceX standards, was extremely complex for SpaceX, who likes to minimize all the extra stuff down to the core of the essence of the engineering challenge. Do we think this Starlink deployment mechanism will be different than what we saw last time?
It's the same for this flight, and for the for next version we've already seen the PES dispenser. I don't see any sort of major difference at the very least. So it seems like they're just gonna be using the same. It worked, right? It worked on Flight 10, and if it works, don't fix it. If it ain't
All right.
broke, don't fix it. That's the saying. Sorry, my brain is overloaded right now.
That's okay. We've got a lot to process here.
Okay, so like the
computers
ship is
are-
not the dark
are
side
hitting
of
their limits,
Earth.
but we have some help. We're going to distribute the workload a little bit, Ryan, because the man who taught me how to get to the moon, that's Moon with a U on Kerbal Space Program, is joining us right now. I'm a big fan, but Ryan, why don't you go ahead and introduce our guest here who's going to help us look at the rest of the coverage today.
Oh, of course, it is the wonderful Scott Manley joining us for the coast phase of the final flight of V2. Scott, how you doing this? We've seen a wonderful, beautiful sunset ascent. How you doing?
Oh, well, that sunset was absolutely beautiful.
Stop
Yeah, the
Manley,
colors changing and all that.
Wait,
it's much better than
okay,
the weather I've got here. I almost had my house flooded. But yeah, it looks like we've had a great launch. So everything's looking good so far. And we're now just basically going to be cruising on through the night, which is a shame that it's night because there's a really cool storm in the middle of the Atlantic that we would otherwise fly over. But it's going to be dark. So yeah, we got a bunch of tests on this flight, I expect. But
Oh, what was that?
what do you guys think?
It was like kind of a hot spot there.
Do you have questions? What are we going to talk about for the next
We have lots of
hour or
questions.
so?
Well-
45 minutes.
Yeah, just vibing right now, but there's a lot of things going on, right?
Right.
Yes, there are quite a bit going on, and let me ask you,
Maybe
Scott,
that's
what are you
just
looking
the
for with this
an
mission?
accidental
I mean,
reaction
obviously
with
you know
liquid
what's
oxygen,
gonna
liquid
happen,
methane.
but
Hopefully,
what's the importance of today?
that would be the
Why has
best
SpaceX
outcome,
been repeating
but
a lot of what they did last time?
judging by their lack
Well, I
of
mean, I think
debris,
they're
that's
repeating a
kind
lot of stuff that they
worrying.
did last time simply because this is the last of the
Maybe that's
V2s,
frightening.
and they don't see any sense in pushing further.
Hopefully that's just
So
frightening.
what they're going to do is demonstrate an engine relight again, because they need to be really, really certain that the engine relights are consistent if they're going to commit to it for an orbital mission. So if they get this one, the V3 debut, that would be 3 in a row. That would be pretty good odds of progressing to a full orbital launch. So I think that's like the most important thing for this to demonstrate. They're going to be pushing the limits again on their aerodynamic entry. Again, this is something that SpaceX pretty much have developed on their own. So they're really sort of, they're being test pilots here. You know, there's no pilot on board, but they do have to fly these different things. So it's, you know, you're test flying the vehicle through larger ranges, trying to make sure that it matches predictions, and if it doesn't match predictions, trying to make sure that, you know, you've got your bases covered for all the range of operations you're going to expect. So I think those are the two things that we're really going to see in this.
wow,
Now, we
there's like a
have
new graphic
missing
of-
tiles.
Oh,
Some
we're
of these
getting
are the
closer to
adhesive
payload
tiles,
deploy.
which may not have the ablative backing. If we end up with a big hole in the nose, it'll be interesting to see how
Telemetry of the
it
ship,
handles.
there's telemetry of the ship, which the graphic
Like,
here.
there's a lot of things that could go wrong there.
The ship is still moving.
and I'm wondering
Oh yeah,
if
there's
they'll,
camera feed.
continue to
Okay, payload
provide,
deployment coming
feeds
very
for the
soon.
payload bay if they end up with holes
That's the
like
main
that.
thing I'm looking at right now. The ship
What's amazing
still
is
looks
how many
stable.
holes it can develop and still manage to get itself into at least a somewhat decent re-entry profile. So I'm curious to see what kind of abuse they're going to put it through this time.
Right. I mean, the spacecraft has, you know, the spacecraft basically continually evolves its ability to fly. So
Okay, guys,
as,
so,
for example, if you remember, big chunks of fins start going missing. That changes the performance. The spacecraft is adapting. So as holes are appearing in this, it's modifying the aerodynamics. It's adapting, right? That's just basically modern technology that the computers can
Okay, yeah, hopefully
measure
that
the responses based upon
bright
inputs
flash that
and
looked like
update,
it came from
whereas
the
older
engine bay was
spacecraft have
actually
all this
like
literally
the
hardwired. I
hopefully
guess I see
actually
we get
just
some
like
views of the
lightning.
the
Okay,
yeah,
it's
some
hopefully
ductlings.
lightning. Nothing else, just lightning.
Do any
Yeah.
of these have cameras? Probably not.
Yeah, it looked like just a bunch of weights like before. What I'm looking for is whether or not they're going to bump the door on the way out. That was something we all noticed last time, that they were kind of
That's
bumping into the wall there on the way out the door. So let's see how.
Yeah,
they
it
do
wasn't
this
the
time.
most stable departure.
No.
You could also see some flows, like air flows inside there. That was always an interesting thing to watch. You know, basically, as
Okay, no
they
leak
reduce
in
the
the
pressure, you're going to get
nose
any
cone area of the ship.
moisture in the air is going to condense out, and you're going to see clouds
Oh,
inside the bay.
the pressurization.
Oh wait, the door's already open. Huh.
Yeah, and we saw
Yeah,
it. We saw
uh,
that. We saw
Somebody
that.
called the
moisture leaving
pressurization
real quick,
more
right?
like
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
releasing
Right before
extra
they
air
cut.
because like the
And
payload,
also, yeah,
like,
did you
the
see a
payload,
lightning
like,
storm
the payload's
there?
not really that pressurized. Yeah.
That's cool, because I guess they are actually flying over this hurricane in the middle of the Atlantic. So that would make
Very
sense.
And what's neat about that shot that we just saw was that the lights inside, you can see that door illuminating from the outside. Which
From the
is,
Yeah, it
flap
looks so much
camera.
better.
yeah.
Like if it would look, you know, what would look amazing was we have some cameras on those things. I mean, we saw Blue Origin throwing out their 360 camera
Yeah.
during stage
That's right.
separation. It would be so easy. Like literally, they have a Wi-Fi on their Starlink. They would just need to throw a camera out the side.
Well, let's see. Maybe we'll be surprised. They often like to you know, kind of show us at the last minute when they
I know,
have
wouldn't
some
it-
new thing for us.
Yeah, that would be pretty special if we got it. But yeah,
And what looks different about them? This mechanism looks pretty similar to the last one we saw.
yeah. I mean, I'd have to look at them side by side.
Do the Starlink sims look a bit different than last time, or is it? Oh, are they going to be showing the live view from the webcam on the right?
Oh, looks like they
That would
must
be
doing
nice.
that. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Okay,
that would be nice.
But I just hear a few things like, does that look like one of them has wires,
It's really hard
or is
to
it
tell.
just me?
Maybe they got a little wired camera on there. That might be kind of
Okay,
neat.
thank God. Please, there should be a camera. Okay.
Very long
Please?
Ethernet cable.
Okay.
Come on, we
Okay.
have Wi-Fi. It's amazing how much paperwork and licensing it requires to use Wi-Fi while in orbit.
That's right. That's right. So these have a wire. They don't have to go through any of that.
Well, that would be a terrible way
Oh.
of failing things.
Now, what we're looking at in the inset window here, I think, is from the last flight.
Last flight.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's the last
Right.
flight, yeah.
Yep. So this is what
Yeah,
it will look
the-
like.
I'm noticing a black
Help
spot
us
in
see
one of them.
why.
Actually, multiple
Oh,
black
it's moving.
spots. Oh, wait.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Everything is live.
Squint.
Come on.
No.
Payload deployment.
That's-
Okay!
how many-
Payload deployment. Payload
Oh,
deployment.
come on.
Oh,
There we go.
It's like no
Sliding
camera,
out.
but like at least there's payload deployment in here.
Out the
It
door.
does look like one of them might have something different. Like the very top one. The final
There's
one.
wires on.
Yeah, there are some wires up there.
Yay!
Yay.
Yes. Okay.
Go off to join its friends in Valhalla, right?
Right.
Oh, it didn't
this-
go all the
That
way
one
back,
is like
all the way
sorry
back.
at the middle
Have you seen
point.
that?
Yeah.
On the previous flight,
You went-
the one on the back went all the way back.
Yes.
Ha! That's how they solved the
The bump problem.
bump.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You think?
Okay.
Now
Now
a
we
lot
should
more stable, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So far.
Okay.
And
So
the SpaceX engineers, they sounded very happy with their achievement there, with all of the cheering.
Yeah.
So it seems to have worked.
It's got to be amazing to watch something you built on the ground operate in space like this. It's got to be an amazing feeling.
It's like I see a little arm fold up in the thing on the chain just as they brought the extra set down. Either that was a video glitch. I'm just sort of looking at the I'm looking at the mechanism lagged here, unfortunately.
okay,
How many
everything's still
how many
live.
Starlinks do they
Two
plan to
Starlinks
deploy
have been
when
already
they're
deployed.
operational?
Hopefully there's cameras in some of them.
All of them. I mean, look, we're talking tens of thousands of these V2 full-size Starlinks, and these are the, not these ones, but ultimately the real
Right.
things.
Sorry, kinda
We've been
sick.
launching the V2
Anyways,
Mini,
yeah.
which are like, heavier than the V1. Those are the ones that have.
Okay.
There we go.
Yep.
Third
It
Starlink
goes
deployed.
nice and straight this time.
Yeah. Just the right amount of momentum to get it
There
out the
is a
door.
small amount of rotation in that.
Yeah.
Also notice that they are launching these things forward along the orbit. Right, you see the orientation of the spacecraft in the bottom right. So it
yeah.
has the top of the spacecraft pointing along the orbit slightly.
Okay.
There's another one going.
That's how the
Everything
satellites
still looks
deployed now.
good. Okay.
Yeah.
4 Starlinks deployed.
Much smoother than last time.
Yeah.
6, 8. Okay, I think 8
But yeah,
Starlinks
V2
left.
are
4 Starlinks left.
They're
Halfway done.
adding more frequencies to cover like the direct to cell, and because they're larger, they can have more antennas on them, so they can actually, in theory, cover more patches. They could, with the V2, because they're closer, because the satellites are larger, they can shrink their cell size and handle more traffic per area. That's where they're going on this.
It's very zen, isn't it?
It is. They've
waiting
got
for that
plenty
shot
of
from
time.
Okay.
They do. They do. I'd love
You,
to see
do,
the
you
shot
don't want to
from the
shoot
outside.
these things out too quickly. They could end up hitting each other in real time.
Right.
So like the real launch will be, they'll have a bit of time.
We've got time to fill here, so this is great.
Okay, more Starlinks being deployed.
Yeah.
Oh!
Oh,
Flap
there we
cam.
got one. We got
There
an
we go.
outside
Oh,
view.
it's not really that
Yeah.
visible.
Flap.
So you can see it. Yeah, let's see if we
Yeah,
can see it
flap
popping out.
cam. Beautiful.
I wish they
that
added
light
night
there is
vision
the
on this.
inside through the door.
Yeah. I mistakenly thought those were city lights on the previous flight, but now I can. It looks a little bit clearer
Okay.
this time. It actually,
It's
I can
definitely
now see
clearer,
it's
yeah.
the
6
Bay.
Starlink being deployed right now.
I think they adjusted the camera gains and stuff to account for this.
And that's 6.
Yeah,
There we
it
go,
goes.
another
There
outside
it
one.
goes. Yeah.
They should have put like lights on them or something so we could see. them.
Yeah. Have them blink or something.
Navigation lights. But yeah,
Now, I
that
did
last
get-
one seems to have something odd. So I'm wondering if we'll see something.
You'll get a little surprise.
Okay,
So we get a
Last
another
one.
layer to go before we see that.
Right.
last Starlink's being deployed.
So I did get into the beta and tried out this Starlink direct to cell. I couldn't make a call, but I was able to send a text to my wife.
Yeah, nice. I mean,
Yeah,
I've been
she-
using the Apple, like, with Global Star for a while.
Right.
But
Yep.
It'll be
Okay.
nice when this comes to everyone, right?
It will be. And the problem now is that because it's still in that very early beta, you have to be in an area with absolutely no cell coverage. And I have this one spot near me. So like you,
that-
Scott, I'm a budding aviator, so I'm taking flight lessons.
Okay, let's
I'm-
hope there's a
I'm not as
camera.
far along as you are.
Come on, hope there's a
my
camera in that
airport is in a dead
Starlink.
zone. So I was able
Fingers
to
crossed.
communicate from our
Oh
airport.
no, there's no
Yeah,
camera on the
there
Starlink.
That
Oh
would
wait,
make
this is
final
the first
flight
one.
plan that
The
way,
second one's not.
hopefully.
Yeah.
The second one's not deployed yet.
It sure would.
Or cancel a flight plan, actually.
Right. Exactly.
They have payphones at every airport because people need to be able to cancel their
Okay,
flight plans.
hopefully there's a camera in the second one.
Let's see. The
See?
8th and last one.
Getting closer to the wire one there.
This wire is
Please?
gonna like have no significance whatsoever, and it's
Well,
No, there's no camera.
It's
in
got
that.
it's got me glued to the edge of my seat. What is the wire?
maybe someone
You know what's
dropped
funny?
their
I
phone
could-
charger whilst loading the Starlinks. I don't know.
I could watch
Yeah.
this all day long.
Oh, okay. There's no like, but all Starlinks are gone now.
Even if they had a full load here, they would be able to launch them all during a single orbit, even at this slow rate.
That's
So they
right.
don't need to make this any faster.
Yeah. It's
So
also
yeah,
this
that's
wonderful
them all
period
gone.
of quiet.
Yep.
Rather than such a period of such intensity of the launch. It's nice to just check out watch some Starlinks being deployed.
Right. So they're all out. Now, do they close the door now? Is that the next
Yep.
step?
Yep. So hopefully we'll see this actually closing on the outside. Or hopefully we'll see something, yeah. I mean, I would like to see what would happen
Yes,
if the
okay.
door failed to close. Like, would they do, re-entry with a sunroof? That would be pretty funny.
That'd be pretty funny.
Let's see
I
if
want to have the
that.
Star Wars force field. Look how
Yeah.
excited they are for that.
Yeah.
I was
Oh, it's
excited about it
closing.
too. This is great.
Yep,
there
there
it
it is
goes.
closing.
All right.
And
Yes.
Nice.
Beautiful.
Okay, payload door
Nice.
closed.
Okay, the pod bay doors are indeed closed.
That's right. and Hal is letting us continue to fly the ship, so we're doing
Yeah.
well here.
I think Hal is flying the ship.
That's right.
Huh.
So what's next?
We're going to have a whole other bunch of time, I think, until we get to an engine test, right? Is there anything else that we're going to test that I've forgotten about?
yeah,
Yeah,
another
actually-
10 minutes.
Okay,
11 minutes actually until that. So
Okay.
bit of
Altitude
time.
is decreasing right now. That
It
means
looks like
we are
the,
getting closer to
tail on
entry.
here in a minute here.
Okay.
Let's see if there's an engine relay.
There we go.
Sorry.
Back to cameras.
Sorry,
we
a
go.
little bit sniffly after getting totally soaked earlier trying to stop my house getting flooded.
That's okay.
Oh, that's not great.
We're having a similar issue where I live in Connecticut. We've been rained out here with wind and all sorts of crazy stuff. So, in case you're just tuning in, we had a spectacular launch of Starship. This is the 11th flight test, and it looks like they're every launch gets a little better, right? And this one was just picture perfect on the way up. We got the booster back, and of course we had what I call the RAD, which is the Rapid Authorized disassembly. So you saw that a little bit earlier, a beautiful explosion, which was planned. And we saw some amazing tests now of that booster landing burn where they lit up, I think, 11 engines and then brought it down.
13, 5, 3, none.
There we
Exactly.
go. And that's why Scott is on the call, because I will never remember all those numbers. So far, so good. We're now kind of in the coast phase, and what we're doing now is kind of in a suborbital trajectory. We deployed a number of dummy Starlink satellites. Elon needs to start making some money with this rocket system, so as Starship develops, as future missions go up into orbit, they will be able to deploy Starlink satellites and maybe earn a little bit back on their investment here. And following this, we're going to see some fireworks next, right, Scott?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we've already passed through apogee, and we're starting to descend if you look at the numbers. The speed is
Okay.
going up, altitude is slowly going down. So, yeah, we're going to fly over Africa, and around, some point between there and Madagascar, I think we're going to start to see some re-entry heating. You know, like re-entry heating isn't something that turns on instantaneously. It's something that builds up very slowly. Even at this altitude, you've got some amount of heating from the very tenuous amount of
I think
atmosphere here.
Raptor
But yeah,
Relight
engine
would
test
start
first
very
before
soon.
that, because
When the ship goes
you know
into
they
its
need to verify the
prograde
work. You know, like
part-
NASA did this with
That-
you know,
that
the
line
early
here, I think,
Mercury
is
Redstone
retrograde,
missions.
so
They
it's
fired
gonna
the
probably rotate. I don't know.
deorbit boosters to make sure that they worked before they sent people up there into orbit. You know, they had a very short amount of time on the Mercury Redstone missions to actually test these things, but you know, they got through that.
And now we're just going to cruise along here. And while we're cruising, we've got a special merch plug that I believe Ryan is queued up to deliver us. We have a tribute to the OLM, which is the last time we'll see a Starship launch from the OLM that we just saw it launch from. So why don't you tell us a little bit more about that, Ryan?
Orbital-ish launch mount, maybe, because of course, as I mentioned many times throughout that launch commentary, this is the final ever flight from this configuration of Starship pad. So if you want to celebrate a wonderful celebratory design as usual, we are renaming OLM from Orbital Launch Mount to Original Launch Mount, because of course it was the original design that got a little bit destroyed on the first flight of Starship. They then kind of jerry-rigged a metal plate in there to try and make sure it didn't get destroyed on all of the subsequent flights. But this design, although kind of janky, although kind of bodged together, it served the test of 2 years of time, right? It served SpaceX well for 11 flights from what is kind of a glorified test stand, but it's done its job. It's done its job well.
It's there on
And
the left.
I can also see, this is so small on my preview, I'm literally zooming or kind of getting really close to my prompter here. Is that a human for scale, or is that Jack Bauer for scale? I can't quite tell.
It could be both, unless Jack Bauer isn't a human. Are you suggesting that Jack is something else?
Well, I'd imagine when we have Jack Bauer for scale, we'd show like the average height of a human and then Jack, because Jack's really short. You won't
And you'd
appreciate
have
me
him in
saying
orange,
Whoa.
right?
Well,
That's
and
true.
if it's
I
Jack,
like
he's holding
it.
up a piece
That
of,
is-
and you gotta
that
have
is
the-
wonderful.
That's really, and he's got to have the bacon up for scale too.
Okay,
And we've also got the
Raptor
danger
Relay
van
should
getting
start.
struck
I don't know
from
if
that
it.
first
I don't
flight.
really remember if
Beautiful
SpaceX
sticker
is going to
design.
do a Raptor
And of
Relay
course, it's pinned
flight.
in chat. So
Please check
if
my
you want to
next
get our
spaceflight app.
celebratory merch, shop.nasaspaceflight.com. The link is pinned in chat. I mean, we also have all of our other merch, but especially if you want to celebrate this final flight from what has become, let's say, an iconic launch pad design, shop.nasaspaceflight.com. We've also got the patch. Over 50% of those sold already. When they're gone, they're gone. We've said this
T-minus
before.
37
We've got a
minutes.
deal. Pinned in chat. All of that stuff. The collection is live.
Yeah, I'm gonna be back
some,
real quick.
some wonderful designs I will certainly be picking up myself.
I wish I had
Right.
merch. I'll just say that. You guys do an awesome job. Like,
Fly safe and all that. I mean, you do have
it is
potential.
so
Scott.
hard to do this well. I am in envy, in awe of the work that you put into this stuff, and you have so many awesome designs.
You and me
Yeah.
both, Scott. I have a coffee mug. That's all I got for my show.
Yeah, I have a coffee mug that says, as a pilot, it says, "I love ailerons." That's how I roll.
Hey, that's good.
That's how we
Clever. I just have
roll.
my logo on mine. So that's good
It's
stuff.
a good one.
Yeah, I got a super chat here from Chris Peck from Berwyn, Pennsylvania, who says that the OLM disassembly begins in 12 hours. Is that right?
I guess with the first shift tomorrow, maybe.
Yeah, they're just getting right
They
to
don't
work
need it
on
anymore.
They
Yeah,
should cut it
it's
up
like,
and sell pieces as merchandise.
There you go.
they strike
That's how
the
they're
set.
going to fund Block 3 Starship. They're just going to slice up the launch pad and sell bits of it on their website, the SpaceX fan. I mean, there are some people who would spend, many, many times more than a bit of seal's worth on some launch pad proven steel.
Well,
Yeah.
maybe we could all go out and do that. We could sell it through our store. That may be kind of fun. Get that taken down pretty quick. Daniel Green with a $10 super chat. A shout out to D Wise for some awesome footage that he was able to get from us. That shutdown was amazing. So thank you very much for that. And Bidford with a $20 super chat to thank us for the coverage. And here's one from Ron Smith for Scott Manley. Think we will get a Starship reference mission 3B. I'm not sure what he's referring to. Maybe you do.
Hi guys, I'm back.
We're
not-
not really means by Starship Reference Mission 3B. Would that be
It's
part of
like-
HLS?
Okay, so we T minus 37 minutes. It's gonna be engine relight, but that's not gonna happen anytime soon. It's 33 minutes. T minus 33 minutes. Expected relight to be in 37 minutes. Yeah. So while we're waiting, I just want to talk about something.
Things like that NASA has done like every 10
I-
years or something like that. It does
I'm
sound
thinking of something to talk about right now.
That's why I chuckled.
By the way, Starship is reorienting. Oh, there's an ad on my TV. There's, yeah. But like,
what we're doing right now is we are in the cruise phase here.
Starship
Waiting for plasma.
hopefully will do an engine relight. While that's happening, I want to talk about
Exactly
wait, hold up.
which, rocket we're going to see here. We've seen on the last number of
I want to talk about like how you can like people can like this concept around like a space failure in space flight just by just judging that the vehicle blew up. Actually depends on where it blew up. Let me just it depends of where the vehicle blew up in its flight plan. If it blew up after the mission was complete, then it's a success. If the vehicle was expected to be recovered, it wouldn't be. But if it blew up, oh wait, never mind. That's just like previous flight. But like, if the vehicle blew up, if it was the space, if they weren't expecting to like recover the vehicle, and it blew up after completing its objectives, then I'd say it's a success. It's a success. Like Starship. Like what Starship did in previous flights, for example, Flight 5, Flight 6, Flight 10. Yeah, so, it depends on whether or not the vehicle was expected to be recovered and whether or not the vehicle completed all of its objectives. In this flight, the vehicle is expected to blow up after tipping over because of... Oh wait, before I continue talking, ship engine relay is about to happen.
One in the corner, I'm like, wait a second.
But we
Yeah.
are seeing a flash there, but that flash is probably just the reaction control is keeping things level. Is that
It's
what we're seeing
it's
here?
never quite clear what that is, but yeah, you know, we would expect that when you blast a bit of gas out into the atmosphere, it's gonna get heated up very quickly because it's slowing down. So, like the reaction control thrusters, because it's just cold gas, they're not producing light. But when you blow it out into the airstream, which is very tenuous, that will generate light because you're massively increasing the surface area of the cross section. So that's what I think that is. Either that or it's a camera which has some weird settings. But I think this
Okay,
is due to like your period.
Get ready for the
events and
engine
stuff,
relight.
right?
Coming
I would
very
love to
soon.
figure that out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of a neat phenomenon there. And Ryan, what do you think SpaceX is doing right now as they're cruising through space here?
I think everyone in Mission Control is just sitting tight and getting ready because we are a few seconds away, about 40 seconds away, from one of those Raptor sea level engines reigniting for in-space burn demonstration. So I think they're probably, you know, maybe getting a little bit nervous, but fingers and toes, Alex, are going to be crossed in Mission Control as they get
Okay.
into this burn
Yeah.
in about 20 seconds.
Yeah, if this doesn't
Alright.
happen, it could be bad in the long term, you know?
Right.
Yeah, they need to
keep
be
an
able to
eye on that.
deorbit Starship. This thing is huge.
Get ready
you know,
for
it
engine
makes
relight.
people get
Coming
upset
very
with the
soon.
Chinese leave huge boosters.
Look at that
Around
engine
the-
diagram here. If one of the engines lit and turned off, that means it lit up. But there's a stream delay, a video delay. So that means the telemetry is more up to date compared to the
You
video.
can see the attitude on the bottom right. Oh, there is.
Engine ignition.
Indicator.
Okay, let's see the. Okay. Yes.
Looks like
Shut
There
down.
we go.
Yes.
lagging. Yep.
Let's go.
Yeah, and we
Yes,
get some chunks
engine
of
relight
popping
successful.
around there. Presumably ice.
Yes.
We just did it 3 times in a row. So
3 times in a row
He's
is
like very
pretty
happy.
good odds at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're
working,
gonna
right?
hopefully get 4 times in a row with the debut of V3.
And
Nominal
Scott,
burn.
should we be, from an engineering standpoint, are they concerned at all about ice getting ping-ponged around the inside of these rockets? or is it moving?
Sure, I
at the
mean,
same
I
velocity?
think it's probably fine. You know, these things deal with some pretty high, powerful environments, but you know, I think they're more concerned with ice that gets trapped in places and stops venting. I think that's a bigger potential problem because the ice can only get projected out by high pressures. So if it's plugging up something, then it's possibly
its ship is going to entry interface.
There's no
Look
place
at that.
to project
I
ice
think
that
that's
would
city
damage
lights.
the
Yeah.
external, thermal protection system. So I don't think they're worried about that.
Okay.
Sure.
That's
You could
the
always
cold gas
imagine a
thrusters.
scenario where it goes bad, and now we're really starting to see some nice colors.
Yeah.
That's not plasma yet, though. It's just the cold gas
And
thrusters
also
combustion.
to
Oh,
let
there's
you
glow.
know,
There's glow.
by
I
the
think
way,
that's
just
glow.
real
If we
quick,
look closely at the heat shield, there's
cars
glow.
have head out to the pad, so that's great news. The pad is good. And also, it's rather
But
quick, less than
we
40
expect to
minutes.
see a
The ship
lot
is
of
still in flight.
crazy
Usually like
action
an hour,
happening.
An hour and a half
Maybe
until the so that's great news. The transport stands that were there on the
maybe
roadblock also moved away.
I'm predicting
So great news.
110
across, of course, on the ground.
kilometers above
The-
atmosphere. Yeah.
You know, the show here is
Okay, weird. Starship is ascending very
Our
fast.
man in Florida still watching this, right?
Yeah.
That's right.
Oh my God, there's an ad.
So?
Is that AI? Yeah, that's AI. Look at that fork.
From our internal
Oh my
side
God.
here.
Okay, but like,
Julia Bergeron with
Oh,
a
shoot.
US-1 on the. Even when rockets are not launching from the
beautiful.
Space Coast, they're getting beautiful shots on the Space
holy,
Coast. There's always something to see on
that's
the
just
Space
like,
Coast.
I think
Not
above
very
Florida.
often
Okay, that's
in
plasma.
Connecticut, which is where
Plasma.
especially when I'm
Plasma.
on my
I think.
basement lair.
Me neither.
Although
Um,
I've had some good ones. Yeah, that's right. Although we
That
did
is
from
probably
Wallace,
yeah.
we will occasionally
Okay,
get some
that's
really good,
cold gas thrusters,
we
but
had
there's a
great ones,
glow at the edge of the
a couple of years ago
heat
that-
shield,
that
which
we
is plasma.
to NSF. Actually, my first activity with you guys was to send you some stuff from Connecticut. So now we're
There's some
gonna
missing
see a
heat
little
shield tiles,
bit of
including
plasma.
one where
Is that what we're
there's
looking
like missing heat shield tiles, including like some in like the like
So,
like in the
yeah,
glued
the
parts,
last
like
launch was in
where
the
like
summer,
heat shield
so
tiles are
closer
glued
to
onto
summer
the ship.
or closer
So
to the southern hemisphere. has-
yeah,
has
this
more
could be a very
light.
volatile situation here. The ship could lose pressure from the
That's a
tanks,
launch time decision
but
too, right?
hopefully it makes it through entry.
Launch and
But there's no ablative layer under those missing heat shield tiles.
Yeah, that's why they
Hopefully,
moved from
most of the
super
heat is
early morning
absorbed
launches
by
until
other parts
none
of the
us-
heat shield
none of us
tiles.
are too sad to see go. But
Oh,
yeah, that's why
God.
they pushed to the evening launch.
Yes,
Because of
okay,
course, in Texas is morning in the Indian Ocean, which means they get the daylight buoy cam and drone cam. Will we get buoy cam again? Fingers crossed it's still out there. I wonder if they replace it or if they put a new buoy. We'll have to wait and see.
I mean, would you be able to tell if they
Hold on,
replaced
I'll
them?
be back real quick.
I think
Probably
they
not.
put them out there and it sits still, and then they bring them back, and if it survives, you know, kiddie pool in
just
the
think it's
middle of the ocean.
I just think it's remarkable that they can hit the spot like that. And
Right,
get the
that
shot.
was
Okay.
the big question always with this, re-entry capability. Could they learn to control it first, and then could they control it to the precision required to make these precision touchdowns? And I think they've conclusively proven that they have this capability, even with damaged spacecraft.
Okay, that's plasma.
I mean, it's just
That's
it's
definitely
incredible
plasma this time, I
considering the fact
think.
This thing has travelled 2/3 of the way around the planet.
That's a constant
Thousands of
glow.
meters.
So hopefully that's plasma.
Right, it's not a
Yep.
realistic entry, it's a gliding re-entry that they are able to control.
I don't know, but like,
place
are those
exactly
catch
where
pins a bit different? Because like,
internal energy
they're kind of more
flows.
triangular.
Yeah, adjust their impact
Yeah,
point
looks like
and,
ship catch pins are
slow
more like
themselves
triangular.
to essentially zero horizontal velocity
Yep,
over the target,
uh,
and then descend and do the flip and burn.
I don't know if anything's different with those
They
catch
might
pins.
find themselves some friends
But,
in Key West. 'Cause there's
yeah.
some people who seem to be very interested in what's happening on the stream right now, in the top right-hand corner.
It's like, it's a
very-
rocket thing, you wouldn't understand.
They're in good company now, and we can see
Right.
that glow starting to I guess get
More
brighter,
intense.
glow more, more intense. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I think it's
Okay.
telling that you can no longer see the clouds behind it. So it's
Yeah.
got
Right.
so much more intense that the thin clouds that we saw
Oh,
that down there
that's
are now being
reaction control thrusters.
blinded or whatever.
I do recall.
Hopefully.
Scott,
Oh, hopefully those are
if you
reaction
remember,
control
like, there
thrusters
were
or
some
venting.
shuttle flights where they tried to fly the shuttle like
Oh my
ignorant,
God,
but really low between, I think it was like the atomic oxygen in the upper atmosphere and the shuttle itself, and it had this same glow during the night.
Oh, I think that's the
it
moon.
was
I don't know if
super
that's the
cool.
moon. Oh, wait,
Yeah, I mean, it's just because you're in this tenuous atmosphere, and you know it scales every
Okay.
8 kilometers it goes down by a half.
Those are definitely
Even a small
like cold
distance,
gas
like 50
thrusters.
kilometers has a
Okay,
huge
those are definitely
amount
altitude
of,
control.
atmosphere
Yeah.
you're encountering.
Or
In
fencing.
vacuum, as far as your body.
Nothing
is
bad,
concerned,
hopefully.
But when you're slamming into it at 7 kilometers per second,
If something bad were to happen, we would see some weird colors like green, which means that there's a chemical reaction happening somewhere. I don't know what's the color for plasma when stainless steel bursts, but yeah, let's see.
My layman's vernacular here.
What's that?
Right, I mean, so what's happening is as they're coming down, the energy levels of the atmosphere, like they'll get more
Okay.
and more ionized, and so you get different colors as you start to get deeper and deeper in.
And go ahead, Scott.
I was just going to say, you know, once you're really deep in, you get like a traditional kind of black body, and it's just looking white. But these are the much more tenuous things where you're having atomic transitions, producing like the different colors.
Yeah. And looks like they're starting entry, and everything is great to go. Good attitude.
Yep. So yeah, it's basically pointed straight up.
Okay,
at a 90-degree or like 10-degree angle to the airflow.
All of this still looks good till now.
Actually stalling its way down, and this is, of course, their ideal orientation. They get a little bit of lift, and then it's enough to lift their descent vector up, allow them to flatten out and maintain altitude at about 70 kilometers, I think is what they aim, as they bleed
Wow,
up close to the speed.
look at that.
And that's the phase when they'll actually perform these turns to try to control, you know, their target point.
And one big difference that we're seeing here compared to last flight is that it doesn't seem like the aft flaps got damaged yet. I guess it's the is the key word.
That's
right?
right.
Okay.
They have
We
not
can
had
see
an
there.
explosion.
Yeah, no explosion yet.
There's some
It hasn't
cracked
seen
tiles.
27 minutes, so
Don't
we'll
worry,
deny.
those are just
Right.
tiles at the flaps.
But so
I
far,
think
so
they're
good.
used to like absorb heat
And
for
it's like
sensors
there are
hidden
some,
under
some
them
tiles in
to
the
see
back
which
of
parts of the heat of the flaps
They're
like
damaged as well.
receive like
Yeah.
heat. Okay,
Yeah, I
so
mean,
simply they
I'm
want to
not
see
sure
the hottest
what
and
they're thinking
coldest
is
parts of the
putting those
flap.
there, because I mean, I
the
guess
wrong
it's
side.
nice if you get some spare tiles. We don't want to put them on the front. We tested those. Let's stick them on the back.
Right.
Yeah, apparently they are testing different ways of pinning them on like they're trying to test for future versions and things like that, like different ways of pins and mechanisms, and a few of them seem to not have worked, and so they fell off already.
Okay,
but
never mind. I
that's-
don't think
it's
they have
really interesting,
sensors,
right?
as
It's like, you know,
what he said.
It's free state.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean,
that-
like everything here is experimental, and if you can get
Yeah.
away with performing as many experiments as possible, you know, you use it.
Might as well. I remember early on in the program, I remember joking to Dan from SpaceX, being like, "You guys should put some experiments on those flaps, because you can really do a lot of things during re-entry."
Stick some Oreo cookies on there.
Yeah. It looks like they listened to you by putting some stuff on there.
Yeah.
so things are
Okay.
really good. So how long does
We
it
don't
take
have-
to go
okay.
from where we are
Ship
now
is still doing well.
to
Entering the atmosphere. Let's see if that altitude just
Oh,
like
it's a minute.
stops, like
yeah, it's
stops,
a
like
minute.
descending or decreasing.
Exactly.
It
you're
just
right.
stays constant,
the
which means
explosion
that
is expected,
there's adequate amounts of
roughly
lift
1
being
hour and
performed,
6
like being
minutes
generated
after
here.
liftoff, but the bulk of the entry, it's like it ends roughly 15 minutes after the start. So, but you know, it spends quite a while in belly flop, right? So
Right.
it takes
it's
a while.
a gliding re-entry essentially. They're controlling it, so they're trying to keep it
Oh,
above
okay.
the upper part of the atmosphere
Looks cool now.
to reduce the stresses on the heat shield. This is
Okay,
what
we are also
happens,
starting to
right?
lose speed.
Look at
Indeed.
that. Oh yeah.
this is where it
That's
really
fuel
starts to
venting
go.
from the back of the ship. Oh,
SpaceX.
there's ice,
One
I
of the
think.
tiles on the aft flap just flew off.
Okay, yeah, never mind.
We quickly.
If that were to be actually ice, then it
There's
would be
another chopsticks.
immediately
The
evaporated.
chopsticks are going down as well, so we just thought we'd show that to you momentarily.
But That's definitely oxygen, liquid oxygen probably being vented.
It is like when you see those pieces coming off, you see that they sort of slowly move backwards. That just gives you an idea of how low density the atmosphere is that they're moving through. Because these things, they're like styrofoam, polystyrene, right? That's their density. Think how quickly those would slow down if you threw them out of a car, right? They would stop instantly. But this air is so thin at this altitude that they barely accelerate backwards. And yet, something goes on that causes them to break off the rocket. So what are the forces that are doing that?
One thing I'm not seeing are sparks like we saw. Maybe it's still early for that, but before, as things were failing, we were seeing sparks from the stainless steel getting hit with this plasma. So far, this looks a lot healthier.
Okay,
Yeah, I mean, we haven't had an explosion.
let's see if there's no energetic event happening
They're
in the
missing
aft
tiles, so
this
I would
time.
expect a few.
It would be good if there was
sparks,
no
but maybe
energetic
just
event.
not yet there, right?
So
I think
where
SpaceX is like either they like
tiles?
change the vent like the aft.
Oh, there's a spark.
Chelsea, oh god.
There we go. One.
And sorry, Ryan, you were about to say
But,
something.
like,
We have a little bit of delay here in our.
The ship is looks good, but like
we've got about 10
Oh,
minutes just over to
but
go
like
until
hopefully
the
there's
sky
no
that flap cam on the
energetic
right-hand side
events. I
is
think
quite
SpaceX
evident
changed
how many
the
tiles have,
cycling of venting of the chill vents or any type of vents at the back. I think they would. Oh god! Oh okay.
Right? These are
Exactly,
not needed
exactly.
for re-entry.
Oh.
So how many of those were there after we reached orbit?
Okay, that.
Fallen off
Okay,
cycle
hopefully that's just normal.
versus
say
how many
Maybe cold gas busters from this section here. Okay, that's probably venting from that section. Hopefully, please. Okay, yeah.
But it looks like perhaps the ones that are staying have they have some good material there. So they'll. But it
Differential
looks a lot
testing.
better.
Okay, so I.
But I mean,
We're
yeah,
not
like
seeing-
during ascent, that's when you're going to get the most dynamic pressure on these tiles on the backside.
Right.
So like,
So if they've fallen off now,
yeah, that's
it's
venting.
not
Okay,
air
that's
pressure,
venting.
the
That's
airflow that's
venting.
doing this. It's some
From
other
those
process,
little
like,
2 vents there.
could be that these just sort of vibrate or something and they shake off. Boy, I would love to know exactly what goes on with some of these things.
And one thing that we're not seeing is the fin here melting, so that's good.
Yep.
Usually we were seeing a lot more intrusion of plasma at this point, so that looks to be like they've made some progress on that weak spot.
Yeah, we haven't had any camera views from inside the engine bay since re-entry started. That's we had
Okay.
a few of those.
It's
Yeah,
looking
of
great
course,
so far.
remembering back to the last flight, there was that little energetic event, I called it at the time, in the
Yes.
engine bay. So it's
Yeah.
peculiar that
Oh.
we haven't seen that particular view since the in-space relight. Fingers crossed it's going.
Oh, we're seeing some blue
Oh,
flames.
that color.
Yeah.
Okay.
To the purple phase.
Oh yes, and yeah, we're starting to see some more sparks.
Yeah. When you see sparks,
To
it
be
means something is
expected.
ablating away, right?
There's
Be
some.
careful, 'cause right
Okay,
now
that's
we have-
venting.
Through
Hopefully
peak
from the
now,
chill.
apparently,
Hopefully from those vents in the
Yeah,
air
so
covers of
basically they
the
bring it down to
aft
70
flaps.
kilometers and they try to cruise at
Oh,
that
I see
altitude for a
clouds.
while.
I think they're going into.
I think that's
Texas. You can
daylight.
See a few clouds there rolling
Yep.
on the right hand side.
Yep. Look at that.
Some much better views.
Wow.
Oh. Okay, I think we passed the energetic event
Their
phase,
G loading is.
but it actually depends whether or not. Ooh! Oh god.
Bay cam.
Yay! Finally.
Okay.
Again, that's looking.
bright.
Oh!
Whoa.
But it looks intact.
I think those are the missing heat shield experiments.
Right.
So wait,
In
this
the
is
glued parts of the
camera's
ship.
on the other side this time, right? Because previously the engine bay camera was looking up, wasn't it? Now it looks like it's looking down.
Okay.
We'll have to go back.
That's okay. Hopefully that's just the venting from those little
Remember that. Maybe they
vents
just
there.
clipped the video.
Yes. Okay.
Apparently they had an issue with the engine chills. They're confirming now that indeed the little boom that they had last flight was due to a blockage there and static buildup ignited it.
Okay.
And that's what happened.
I don't know how you can get ignition from any of this.
So they're not, but what they're saying is they're not having a problem with the engine chill on this flight.
Oh.
Sounds
Yeah.
like they're going to crash. That's what I thought you were about to say.
They
Oh,
modified
thank
apparently
God.
a few of the. I
Yeah.
couldn't hear exactly the full explanation, but they modified some of their processes to be able to solve that.
So
Look
we're
at the
reaching about
clouds
1
go.
G of deceleration now if you count that speed going down.
Okay.
And you can really see now that we're hitting daylight. I mean, this ship is booking it right now through 66 odd kilometers, right? They are.
So it
going-
turns out
I
that
mean, they're going over
these
22,000
that is not a result of
per
venting,
hour,
liquid methane into
70
oxygen at the same
altitude. I
time.
mean,
I
this
think
thing
it's
is
just a
going so
blockage,
fast.
as he
And in
said.
under 10 minutes time.
Okay,
10 minutes time,
we are slow.
this
The
thing
ship is
gonna
starting to
be-
slow down more. We're seeing a lot of daylight.
You'll notice how it's now pitched forward a bit. So it's now, I think that gives it a little more lift.
Is that an
rather than
S-turn?
the
I think that's an
ultra high
S-turn.
angle of attack. So it's near like 45 degrees, which is like an optimal attitude for basically lift.
Yeah, it's
So-
keeping the
It's like
altitude the altitude
Yeah.
as you said there. It's very
Whoa.
solidly in 65.
Like, there's a bit more
Yeah,
plasma
that's
glow.
like intentional again.
Wow.
So the question,
this
what I'm looking for now is it going to roll left or right?
Yeah, it is, there's like-
it's
Oh,
steering.
guys, as you can see,
Look
there's
at
like an
that.
S turn.
It's starting to glow.
Yeah.
Yep.
But it's not melting this time.
Yeah, we saw that last time, for sure.
Yeah. And Scott, this might be an elementary question, but I would imagine that some of what was learned on the space shuttle has probably made its way into the design here, because to some degree there are some similarities in at least the high altitude aerodynamics here in how you slow down and how you approach entering the atmosphere with a large craft that's somewhat able to glide. Is there anything learned here from the shuttle that's made its way into this, or is this something SpaceX
yeah.
started from scratch with?
I mean, look, I think, you'll
Oh, look
find
at
that
that heat
SpaceX
temporary.
were talking about how they needed to have this packing, this crunch wrap around the edges of the tiles to stop heat penetrating. That's literally something that the Space Shuttle had, right? All of these tiles are very similar. This approach and terminal, energy management is very, very
It's a bit
similar. Right?
turned, right?
Yeah, it does look like it's turned a little to the south. And I know that they're supposed to do some maneuvers, but I wasn't quite clear on when they were going to do these maneuvers. At this point, they just need to make sure they
Okay.
hit their target site. So, they're basically controlling their cross range and their down range.
Apparently, from what they've been saying, don't be surprised if you see the ship turning when it's in belly flop. So it's during the belly flop maneuver, right? When it's
Yeah.
in that skydiving portion. I'm really looking forward to that.
They're just going to spiral it down like the Space Shuttle did.
Yeah.
I mean, that's ideal, right? Because you want to arrive over your target and essentially spiral down within range. That's what the Space Shuttle did. They had this whole these cones that the Space Shuttle would fly around, and if they didn't have enough energy, they would use a tighter cone, and if they had too much energy, they would use a much wider cone. And I'm presuming that Starship has similar set of constraints and similar strategies
Okay.
for terminal guidance.
You can see
Very
some
Similar
crazy
to, an
plasma at the back of the ship.
Right? I mean, it's a similar.
Hopefully that's still just
Don't
venting.
turn away from the airport.
Right.
Get close
Yeah.
and then spiral down.
Ooh, the heat shield. There's no
See
there's
a little
no
bit of,
orange color, which means that there's no metallic tiles.
See the
I
mount
hopefully
points on the
there's
bottom,
hopefully there's no metallic
yeah,
tiles
yeah,
on the
yeah,
ship. I want to see
yeah, the
ship.
catch pins, that's
I
all.
want
Yeah,
to see
those
the
are
ship
really
without any
nice.
oxidation in it.
And would expect that because that is not a wide surface. That's a much, much smaller surface and therefore a tighter
Look at the
radius of
attitude.
Plasma
curvature.
dissipating.
On the
Yeah,
indicator on
really
the bottom right.
low angle now. Yeah.
Wow. Whoa.
Now, are we
That's
past the
crazy.
peak heating point?
We are, but still getting. It's getting hot, right, Scott?
Yeah, and we're also at a higher G loading now. So we're, as you
Exactly.
go through peak heating, the next thing you have is the highest dynamic pressure, the highest deceleration.
Holy.
And we all know that tiles can
Look
be
at that
damaged
venting
just
there.
due to that. Ooh, that
Whoa.
looks like fire.
Yeah.
Angry fire.
Okay,
toasty
the
now.
ship is doing another
Yeah,
bang.
so this is the point
Oh, this
where
is
it's
another
like,
ad on
the
my
air is
TV.
dense enough that you're not getting these nice, colourful atomic
Wow.
Holy.
the ship's the other way.
Look at that.
black
Yeah,
body
look at this
radiation.
banking.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Hey, look at that.
So that was the maneuver we were expecting.
Whoa.
That's what's different here with this flight was this dynamic. What do they call this? Dynamic.
Temperature's coming down.
Dynamic bank.
Dynamic banking, right? Look at that.
So yeah,
That's
they're
crazy.
So they're doing this to see how much cross range they can get. You know, and they did this in the space shuttle. Like, particularly flight number 2 was the one where they like pushed all the, the stuff.
Ooh, G-force.
Oh yeah, we finally like our G-force.
Okay,
So-
plasma's kind of not really dissipating, but dissipate. Yeah, plasma's
Max
dissipating.
Q on the way down is at a higher altitude and higher velocity.
Whoa! Oh my gosh! Look at that
So
view.
far, it's looking better than it has on prior flights, as far as things not melting away or exploding.
Wow.
So that's good.
The engine camera is crazy right now.
Yeah.
So I think that's a different engine
Let's see
camera
this
compared to
delay
what
by
we saw
TV.
some time back.
I think
But
they might have 2, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe one that's like 60 degrees offset. I'm not, or 120
make
degrees
sense.
offset. Yeah.
Wow.
When
Okay,
it's like based on
three
the stuff flowing.
That white stuff at the back of the ship is probably
Well, I do have
venting.
it,
seem to look at engine.
I don't know if it is though.
I do want to put this super chat up here real quick. Who from
Maybe it's like airflow, like
who calls them
vortexing around the
ailerons.
back of the
Aileron
ship, the silver
Aileron.
flame. But like, look,
Ailerons.
Aileron.
plasma's dissipated.
There you go.
I think
The ship looks cleaner.
I'm not sure.
Like, but last flight the ship looked okay, but like,
I'll say
oxidation made it look like okay. Just add. But like, oxidation made the ship look like the SLS. Not really, but like, it had an orange body
The space
when
shuttle had that
due
as
to
well.
oxidation.
but they were like.
Hopefully, there's no tiles
Right.
that are like
And then that's how we
metallic,
control its
so we
speed
get
during
a
this final,
cleaner
like,
like-
circle around and land.
starship
But
landing.
these are
Speaking
different
of which-
again.
Oh my god, the internet, man. I
But
swear.
Mach 9.
Only.
Only, yeah. The G-forces were really, really nice. Like I did not see those going up beyond 2.
Whoa!
Oh, aerial assets. Here we go.
Aerial
Looks like the drone
assets.
cam is going to return.
Yes!
Let's go.
Okay.
So we are going to have our second, hopefully our second rad of the day here.
Yes. Okay, okay. Oh my god, oh my god, the internet, I swear.
And we are about 6 minutes away from splashdown. So that's 5 seconds later.
Okay, come on, come on.
So Brian, let me ask you this: if you know when I think
Okay,
of this
banking
flip,
maneuver.
Here we go.
Banky? Okay.
Okay.
I'll ask you
What
after
are
the
It's
banking.
apparently
Yes, 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 yes. Okay,
Okay.
I want to see that ship land.
What's it gonna do then?
Holy, look at
The
that.
clouds. Beautiful, beautiful Indian Ocean.
Yeah.
Okay.
Doesn't look too rough.
they're
out there,
calling
either.
it a half moon turn something, and a twist at the end. I don't know.
Okay.
It's a
Okay.
weird explanation. SpaceX, we love diagrams. Please.
Yeah, yeah. I would like
Give
to
us
know.
one.
I'm wondering if it's the Kerbal thing where you basically
Okay, okay, okay.
down so you
Plasma is fully dissipated. We're slowing down.
get much tighter precision on your landing.
There's a very exciting drone
I do
shot.
that all the time.
Yes.
It's because it's so easy to overshoot your target, so you would just, flip it around.
Drop it.
Yeah, we're close. Drop it.
So Ryan, what would the belly flop and the flip feel like for an astronaut inside one of those
Okay.
things? I can't imagine on the way down that being comfortable.
Yeah, I would say unless they have some sort of like gimbaled seats, I wouldn't really want to experience it.
Oh, I
Yeah,
wanna.
it depends
Okay.
where it depends where you're sat. If you're near the center of rotation, then maybe it's not that bad. But it doesn't seem like it would be the most comfortable thing if you are unexperienced. I'll put it that way.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's some astronauts who
here
would
we
be more
go.
than happy to try it out.
Look at it go.
Whoa, there's a boy cam, another boy cam. Like in last flight, but I want to see a drone footage. I want to see drone footage.
But, yeah, I actually flew an aircraft recently which did a similar flip maneuver for takeoff and landing.
Oh, really? How did that feel?
Once you're used to it, it felt totally natural.
Look at the
it.
attitude
Let's turn it.
on the
Wow.
on the
It's like
indicator.
on its side.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like doing the rotating away.
Holy,
I don't know,
look
it's-
at that bank. Oh my god. Oh my god.
But it's doing what I said, right? Like it's facing
I didn't
out
notice that.
south, right?
Holy. Look at that crazy back
Controlled
maneuver.
flight Here, this is part of the
Wow.
they wanted to test today. So this is all.
So is
part
this
of the test
perhaps so that they can land at Starbase without
Yeah.
dropping massive
Yes.
sonic booms on Mexico? Or sorry, America, because they don't.
Whoa. Oh my god, the internet! Oh my god, please, 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 don't lag during landing, okay? Is that heat shield less, like...
Wow.
Okay, never mind, that's just the... Okay, thermal blacketing still there, still same.
But it is. They're
Wow.
actually running it during
Look
the
at that!
flop.
Look at that!
Which is,
Trunk
we
Sonic?
saw that
Look at that
previously.
back maneuver, man.
Yeah, it's now.
Holy!
I'm
Okay,
starting to see bits
ship
come up.
is
And belly flop.
now in its belly flop position.
So it's now oriented south. Look at that.
Wow.
It's now oriented the way that it should to be able to land on Tower 2. Because Tower 2 is
looks like-
facing south.
Yep.
So when it does
got
the
some
belly
pieces
flop,
flying off
the
there.
landing burn.
So
Oh, now it's rotating
Crispy.
back. Notice that?
yeah.
So yeah, when
Holy.
it's in the belly flop orientation, it does have like forward velocity to it. So that's how they would steer it in. It's not much forward velocity. It's like probably like 10% of its vertical speed. But like when they fire up.
Okay, let's see if that.
more-
Okay, I think the ship. No, the ship is not in terminal
It's
velocity
flipping up
yet.
and down there.
But like, the ship is now in its belly flop maneuver. In a few minutes, we're gonna see Starship land. This is amazing.
Crispy
okay,
would
okay,
be very happy to see that we've got some space shuttle S
Okay.
activities going here. We have a glider, and we're
That's
you know, we're in
right.
controlled flight, controlled glide. It's amazing.
Yes. Okay. Get ready for landing. Get ready for landing.
Yep.
So
Everything is
go.
prepared.
We're about 1 minute, just over 1 minute away from ignition.
Okay.
Still turning.
yeah, it
See
looks
that?
like it's hunting for some
Oh,
position.
we lost
Oh,
some tiles.
yep.
Yep.
Doesn't matter at this
I'm gonna
point.
be watching on my TV, so expect there to be
I'm
some
pretty sure
delay
it's going
in my
to be
reaction.
reusable.
Okay, I'm gonna be watching from my TV, so expect delay from reaction. Okay. Okay.
A glide slope of 80-degree glide
That's
slope.
okay.
Oh my goodness.
Holy, look at that.
Oh
This is
my
as if it was behind the launch tower, apparently.
Okay.
So it's simulating that.
It's a lot like my
Coming
landing
up
stat.
soon. Yeah. Coming up soon should be that landing burn.
Okay, landing phase coming up.
20 seconds until the landing burn and flip.
2 kilometers, 6,000 feet.
Yes.
Pretty fast drop.
Deep breaths.
Come on.
Buoy.
Okay. I want to see how.
Landing burn.
Oh, landing bird.
Through the clouds.
Come on. Okay, engine ignition.
Oh, here it goes.
Oh!
Tiles.
Oh dear.
Yes.
It's kind of fun to see that.
Yes. Okay.
Landing shot.
Boy cams. Look at that heat shield. It's all black. Yes.
Orange this time.
Landing bird shut down.
Explosion?
Yes.
There it is.
Yes, it does sound. Okay. Yes. Whoa.
Explosion at Starship 38. See that was incredible.
That was amazing.
Yes.
So
Okay.
we promised 2 explosions, and we delivered everybody. So there you go. Planned explosions, not ones that were not anticipated. So it looks like I think we can
Let's go.
success. Everybody, what do you think?
Yes.
Yeah.
They did what they planned to do.
Yeah. And onward to the next revision. So
Holy. That was an amazing flight, guys.
another amazing. I'm trying to collect my thoughts here with everything we just witnessed. But so, are we going to see another Starship launch, Ryan, before the end of the year, or this is it for now?
That was the big question, you know. This is what we were all
Yep.
asking. Shall we say before Ship 36 blew up? And
Okay, guys. So that was an amazing test. That was an amazing Starship test flight. The final one in OLMA. Hopefully, we will see another one happening. Probably not really this year. The Mega Bay hasn't been constructed yet, and the next Block 3 booster is not made yet. But hopefully next year. Hopefully maybe February. Yeah. So I'm gonna see you in the next flight, which is IFT-12, the debut of the Block 3 vehicle. So I'm gonna see you, and yeah, bye.